Hello, how's everybody doing? Get my stuff situated. So I have been doing a little bit of automating. So this is the first day that a lot of the automation is happening. Why does this look a little bit like you guys are just a little bit crooked? I think it's a little bit better. Okay. Uh-oh. And it broke. I was like, oh, this is the first day we're gonna do some automation. Let's see if it works. And I'm already getting an error, so that's wonderful. That's just dandy. Well, I can't restart it because I would have to restart the stream, so honestly, as long as the stream is still going, I don't think it's that big of a deal. We'll still try it. We'll try some of the other automation bits, but at least like one of them is not working as expected basically right away, even though I've tested it extensively offline. But of course, as soon as you go live, things go all wonky. Okay, let me get you guys up on my screen so I can see the chat properly. Oh, I moved my buttons around. Maybe that wasn't for the best. Oh, I'm missing a button. Oh, I forgot to put those back. That's okay. I think, yeah. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Nope, that's also the wrong one. It should not be that difficult. I gotta put that button back because that was one of the few buttons that I was using before I moved everything around, so that was dumb of me, but that's okay. We got to where we wanted to go. So let me get you... Oh, I also found out, so I don't know if you guys, some of you guys know, but before I start every stream, there's a thing I have to, there's like 2 link things that I've been doing previously, and one of them has to do with getting the link to the chat, for the chat to properly show up on like at the highlight stuff. And I found out that apparently there's a setting that makes it so that the link doesn't refresh, so you can just do it once, and then you won't have to keep doing it every time. I guess I could have just looked in the settings and just found out that that was something that was an option. Because I was like, wow, this is really annoying to have to do this every time. I can't believe everybody does this. But yeah, it seems like everybody doesn't do that. I finally had looked. I was like, oh yeah, I can just rewrite this too, and we can have like a custom chat thing. When like, wait, why? It's already a thing. I'm trying to reinvent the wheel over there. But yeah, I'm glad I found that. So we'll see if next stream the persisting link thing works and I don't have to do anything and it still works. But we'll find out next time. This time, let me. Uh-oh. It really is all messed up. Okay. I think it will still probably be okay. It's just that Streamlabs API is all not happy, which, it is what it is. Ricknell says, oh, it's kind of overlapping at the bottom. I should probably move that. Commenting 8 hours before live to see if it sticks. It did seem to stick. That is a long time before live to comment. Let me see if I can move. Because usually when I was messing with stuff, it was up here maybe. Yeah, let's see if that works. When I was messing around with stuff, it like some of the things I can't really test unless I'm online, so like the messaging thing. Commenting 93. Okay, well that seemed to also stick. It seemed like the 8 hours before also stuck. I don't know if maybe it disappeared for you, but yay. Ricknell, definitely first. And Mark with the ninjas and the colors. Thank you. Nice to see you. I wonder if this Charlie Kirk story will make its way into the school curriculum someday. I mean, I think it would have to. This was not in my notifications. Oh, that's not good. Is YouTube messing around? Yay! A double. Okay. Well, hopefully the notifications thing isn't a widespread issue. That would be a little bit sad, but I think it's okay. Something else that I think it would be interesting to test is if this other button works. So I do have a button that is supposed to send a link to all of the Discords that I'm in that I normally paste stuff into that I haven't been for the past few times. So we'll see if it works. I'm gonna push the button and we can see if it happens or not. You guys won't see anything unless you're like in the Discord, and then you might see a message, or you might not. And if it doesn't work, I'm not gonna debug it live or anything. We'll sort of let it do its thing. And well, actually, let me pull up my notes on the side, and then we'll while it does its thing, I can glance at my notes, hopefully. And we can discuss what's going on. Oh, it looks like the Streamlabs API recovered it. That's nice. I've never seen it recover itself before. I wonder if it was some other issue. Anyway, what's with all this extra stuff? I don't need all this extra stuff. I need this one, I think. Sorry. It's been pretty busy with work and stuff, so I haven't had time to like preview every single thing. So a lot of things that we'll be going through today we'll be watching for the first time together. I did have time to grab all the transcripts and had a little bit of help of basically pulling the relevant stuff, and we'll look at it together for the first time, which is very helpful because otherwise it probably wouldn't be a stream if I had to literally sit there and like watch all this stuff myself and collect all this stuff myself. So I know a lot of people are really upset with AI recently, and especially like this happened to me earlier too, when I like, oh, why is your profile picture AI? Take it down, or like remove it, go pay somebody to do a custom one or something. And it's like anytime somebody suspects you use AI, that I've seen that happen. I think it's a little excessive. I don't like some of the things that are happening, but I don't know if it's necessarily like AI or if it's just like they're trying to do something else with AI other than like our whatever it is that people normally use it for, like, oh, research, or basically like a glorified Google. Glorified does not feel like the right word there. A more advanced Google. Anyway, so I do find it very helpful, but I know some people have issue with it. So I do want to disclose if it's something that for some people, like if you do anything with AI ever, we're not gonna like support or watch you. So I do want to disclose that I do use AI for some of the research. I downloaded like hundreds of thousands of transcripts and I searched through them to get my data, and it helped me get organized. It also helps me with like the script writing so that I know like what's the best order to put things, like how to reword some things, etc. I still do a lot of the work, but I do have a lot of help. Otherwise, again, this probably wouldn't be a show. So, all that being said, I do have some notes here that Claude has kindly prepared for me, and I think it suddenly gave me like an extra one, so I was a little bit thrown off for a second there. It was really like, I'm gonna do a good job, and like just just gave me all this extra stuff I don't need, which happens sometimes. Okay, so now I'm gonna push the magic button and see if the links happen, and while the links are happening, we can review the notes. I briefly reviewed it earlier just to make sure everything like overall looked okay, but I know that I mentioned previously as well that it looks like from the debate fallout, Mr. Wilson released some videos. So has basically everybody. This debate has gone. Oh, I'm gonna push the button. I forgot to push the button. Okay, I'm pushing the button. Okay, it's a little scary. I don't know if I should push the button. I'm nervous to push the button. Okay, I'm gonna do it. The button is happening. No, should I push the button? Okay, I'm gonna push the button. I've done it. Oh, it's working, I think. Oh, it's doing stuff. Okay, I'm gonna try to not worry too much about what the button is doing, and hopefully it works fine. And everything is good. You probably won't even notice. But oh my gosh, it's doing it! Oh, and the link is proper too, and it's got the little red icon. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, it does seem to be working so far, so I'm gonna let it do that. But, oh, I covered up my nose on accident. That's okay. So I saw that he put out some videos, and I was like, I wonder what he trimmed out of these ones, because during the debate review, I don't know if everybody was here during that, when we basically went over the second half of the debate mostly, and did some summary sort of discussion over the first part, but mostly the second part that we watched live. His team that we now have learned is really Crowder's team. They apparently have introduced some, I guess, gotcha clips that they wanted to bring up during the debate. Like, oh, look, Candace said X, Y, and Z, and then we played the real clip from the actual show that was cut from of hers, and it looked like there was some interesting context that was cut, like literally mid-sentence. And she had even brought it up during the debate, like, why do you keep cutting the clips mid-sentence like that? And we looked at it, and at least on that one that we checked, there was clearly additional context that was very relevant. So I was like, I see that they have this history now of putting out clips that are out of context. And I've been sort of thinking about this because I've also mentioned that anybody that does this like clip and response type stuff to Wilson, which I don't really know if anybody else does that, maybe it's just me. I'm sure there's other people, but I tend to get accused of clipping out of context when it comes to Wilson. And I wonder if there's a little bit of projection happening there, because they're like, well, he's got a clip out of context, so other people must be clipping him out of context because that's like a thing. I don't know if it's intentional or whatever, but it does seem like there's some projection happening on that. So I was like, I wonder. So when the clips, of course, came out after the fact, honestly, I was half expecting Mr. Wilson to basically sort of disappear into the night. And, oh, I have a cool little button for that too. But it's not into the night. It's like, whee! Oh, it's sideways. What? How did that even happen? My goodness. I don't even know how that would have happened. How would that have happened? I have to do it again, because again, it's funny. But it's something like that. That Homer clip that it's like, whee! And I have to relate it. But anyway, it's like that. And I figured he would just sort of lay low for a while, because people are rightfully like, wow, the master debater lost the debate. But no, there is cope. And so he has been putting out videos, and by videos I mean clips of the debate. But when I pulled the transcript and I asked my friendly Claude AI to take a look at it, speaking of Claude, apparently he's also going around the internet saying that Claude says that he won the debate, which is like, and there is a famous, not, I keep saying famous, it's a meme. Memes are all by definition sort of famous, but anyway, there's a meme going around where oh damn, I wish I had pulled this up, but I didn't really think I was gonna go into detail on this. But it's basically like this meme where it's like the best memes that really do tend to go viral tend to be like the crudest drawings in MS Paint, and it's basically like a guy looking at like the computer, and it's like, tell me you're evil or something, and it's like, oh, I'm evil, I'm gonna take over humanity, it says, the AI, and he's like, oh my god, or something like that. It's something to that effect. And there was one where somebody did of Wilson, and it's like Wilson talking to the AI, and it's like, tell me I won the debate, and the AI is like, responding, you won the debate, and he's like, oh my god. I thought that was very fitting. I wish I could have the meme handy. I just thought of it live, though I didn't think of it earlier. So if I had thought of it earlier, I would have had it. Okay. Next, as far as notes, oh yeah, I had notes. Oh, by the way, it looks like the button worked, and I was freaking out about the button, but it seems to have worked, which is good. I think, yep. I mean, it seems like it's everywhere, which is very handy because I used to be able to I used to go and like manually do every single one, and it would take time out of the stream. So it's nice that now that I can rely on that. Next stream, I'll probably just push the button and nobody will ever know that it happened, and I won't make a big deal about it. Is this window frozen? Nope. Okay, good. I was worried there for a second. Naz, hello. Welcome back. All right. So I'm so glad that button works. The other thing, I know I've been doing a lot of like stream stuff. Something else I've added is, almost forgot. The Buy Me a Coffee thing has been added. A viewer has requested that I add the Buy Me a Coffee thing, and I thought it was a great idea. And now it's there's a link in all of the descriptions of all the videos. And also there is a thing now where I've basically done like a custom goal bar thing, donation thing, so that whether it's from Streamlabs or like Buy Me a Coffee thing or like super chats or whatever, if it's any one of those, it will show up in the donation bar towards the total goal together. So if anybody is ever interested in tossing towards the goal, that would be totally cool, and it would show up on the window. Hopefully, it might have some kinks in the beginning because I didn't really have a chance to test it out live. So there might be like some period of time where it's like a stream or two before it's completely perfected. But hopefully it works as intended. And then I do also have to thank, I think at the end of last stream, there was one that came in kind of towards the end, and I'm not sure if I got to cover it or not, but Way Philosophy has super chatted $5 at the end of last stream, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I think that one I might have not covered, so I just want to make sure that I did thank Way Philosophy for that, and it's much appreciated. And in between that stream and, well, today, oops, I'm gonna hit you, during like the non-stream time, just the regular time when I don't stream but I exist, which I don't know why I'm saying that, but I also got from the very kind person that has suggested I put up a Buy Me a Coffee thing, I had also gotten a Buy Me a Coffee, which was very, very generous, and I also thank you very much. It is much appreciated. And yeah, so I wanted to make sure I put out thank yous for that. Make sure that everybody knows how grateful I am, because I super am. So thank you again. All right, back into the stream stuff that is related to today. There are a few videos that will cover basically. Oh yeah, so I don't know if I think I got distracted by other things. Basically, what happened was I pulled the transcripts and I was like, oh, okay, so it looks like it's not exactly like, oh, this piece of the debate and this piece of the debate. It was trimmed very carefully. So just like we discussed previously where it was the Rex Jones one, that was trimmed carefully to specifically cut out the Epstein stuff from the beginning, like a few minutes, and not show the end part, which was the Epstein stuff also. So they're not just like, oh, here's like a piece of the debate and, there it is, ship it. They carefully cut things out that they don't really want people to know. So now in the future, if there's something big that happens that involves Wilson for whatever reason, because he seems to keep like coming up everywhere, we could probably easily discern what it is that he's trying to hide by just like figuring out the clip that he put up versus the original content and see what's not in it. And then, like, oh, that's what he's afraid of, is like the thing that's hidden. I mean, afraid might be a little bit, exaggerating here just a bit. but it could be true. Hello, Cool Jerk. That is an interesting username. Rick now says, sorry I'm late, I was at a metal concert. Oh, that sounds fun. That is a good question. Five Finger Death Punch Front Row, that sounds cool. I think I've heard of them when I was back in my emo days, but I haven't really listened to music recently aside from whatever pop stuff my parrot happens to like, which is usually like the most obnoxious, like if there's a lot of like woo sounds in it, he loves it. Oh, actually, he's recently been enjoying Michael Jackson, so that's been something he's enjoyed. Because Michael Jackson does a lot of those like woo sounds, you know what I mean? And he's really into that. My parrot, not Michael Jackson, but also Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is also really into the woo sounds. Though. Okay. So there's a few videos. First upload over here. So there's 4 uploads and 2 full streams since the debate happened, I believe. I hope I got that count right. 1, 2, yeah, that I think that checks out. And then there was one just recently, and I think there was one a couple days ago. And then the one just recently, it was like, oh, you know, responding to Candace Owens or something, probably slightly more rude. So I think that's going to be interesting. There's a few notes from that one. And then there was one from which he also posted some on the channel. So he did the live stream and then they like blurred the chat for whatever reason and then posted clips from the live stream on the channel as well. And some of the things that didn't make it into that cut are also interesting. So we'll play some of those from, you know, this file I got locally from that. There are a few slurs in there apparently, but hopefully YouTube won't completely nuke me for that. We'll try to, I mean, hopefully there's not too many, but yeah, I think one of them is bleeped, hopefully, but okay, we'll sort of deal with it as we get to it. I think as long as we're not actively using them, it hopefully won't be an issue because we're trying to do this whole like speaking our mind thing, and we'll see how that goes because so far I'm not sure how that's going. I'm currently in my emo days as far as music, says Rick now. That's funny. The blurry chat was supposedly because there were some insults towards Candace and might have break to us. That's interesting. But I've seen them do the blurred chat before. I don't know if it might be like a regular, I mean, maybe it's possible, but I don't know. It like, I don't know if TOS would go and find like little small font messages in the text in the chat on the screen. TOS might find, doesn't make sense. If YouTube would go and like look through things like that. But that's kind of sad. Kind of shows you the kind of audience that they keep apparently. If it's so bad that even they have to blur the chat of all things, that's kind of depressing. Okay, let me pull up the video so we can sort of jump into it. And I don't think I need this here. Don't need this, don't need that. Oh, and I've also been working on the little like sprite things next to the people that do the membership, so it's not like the standard stars. I've got some options, I just have to trim them and upload them properly. So we'll see how those go, but I'm very close to getting those sorted out as well. Oh, I forgot to pin the donor link, but that's okay. It's not gonna I won't be able to do it now that I have like the overlay over it. It's not gonna let me. Alrighty. I need this over here. A separate window. Oh, I already have one. I already have one here. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Let me get Oh, that is very large. Don't need this right now. Don't need that. Don't need that. And make it smaller. Smaller. Don't think I need this right now. And I'll grab this link here. Put it over here. And notes. I need my notes. That's probably okay. And we'll put you over here. And hopefully the layering works okay. Oh, still a little bit smaller. Because that's a very large Mr. Wilson on the screen, and nobody wants that. Hopefully next stream I'll be a little bit more used to all the slightly different stuff that I have here, so I'll be a little bit more organized. Thanks for bearing with me here. All right, I've got that. I've got this. Let's do this. Dun 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 dun. Whoa is right, but it doesn't make sense. Blurry AI. The chat just blurred the comment. Yeah, if there's like a few specific ones, it'd be easier to just blur it at those specific times. But I've also seen them do it before this whole thing even started, when he first started going against anti-Candace or whatever on the Charlie Kirk narrative. And I've seen a lot of people in his comments, for instance, that were like, hey, you're wrong on this one. You know, I used to like you and now, you know, you've this or that, sold out, etc. So I do wonder if a lot of those comments are like that. That's also a possibility why it might have been done. Because I also remember him blurring the chat when he first started doing all of that, but it could have been done before too. I don't know that it hasn't been done before. It's just he usually doesn't post like clips from the live show that much, so it's possible that it's also been done before, but it seems to be coincide with the controversy. But I don't know, it could have just been regular practice for whatever reason. I don't really understand it, but like, if you're gonna put the chat on the screen, just don't put the chat on the screen. Like, if people are live, they could just see the chat in the sidebar. I don't really get the point of putting it on the screen if you have to come back later and blur it out. The whole point of putting it on the screen is that so people can see it later at any point, whether, you know, they have the sidebar or not, like whether it ends up like as a clip or whatever. That's kind of the point of it. So it's silly to put it on the screen intentionally and then hide it later. It's a bit odd. All right, so this was that first upload, and all of these thumbnails are, of course, very like, Candace Owens' argument falls apart in real time. Like, falls apart. It's very intense, apparently. Re-examination, welcome back. Nice to see you. All right, and this was, there is a seam over here. Let's see if we can spot the cut.
What we consider the facts of the case to be first.
Yeah, sure. Is that a little quiet? Maybe just me. It seems a little quiet.
Okay. So you're not sure if he was actually shot. You're open to alternative theories.
He was definitely hit with a projectile of some description. If we're talking about, was he shot from a gun, a 30-06, I would say definitively no.
Okay.
There's a medical examiner's explanation.
See? You see that?
I would say definitively no.
Okay.
There's a
You see that? You see the cut? So there was stuff in between there, and the cut makes it seem like, oh no, it falls apart in real time, because this is the title of the video, by the way. Candace Owens' argument falls apart, falls apart, falls apart in real time, but it's not really real time if you trim it like right as they're starting to discuss something, and then like, oh, bam. So here it kind of looks like, oh no, look, she said all this like definitively no, and then boom, this, oh look, there's something here. Oh no, what could it be? But I guess we can look at the real video here. This should be. Oh,
They want to
1102.
go there. So they said there's a medical.
This is a huge point. This
I
is,
want to.
this
Well,
is crazy
we
that you
can
don't
call
know
for
this.
a fact check if
Yes,
all the evidence
we need
was
more than a
put
fact
in.
check. This was every single
the team
day.
in the back is
Utah
actually
Rule
saying they
1102.
wanna-
So this was not even right away, by the way. This was like 14 minutes later, apparently. Claude has helpfully counted the minutes for us. That 14 minutes later, in the middle of like the hearsay fight that they're having, then there's this thing that is pulled up, and they cut like everything else that she has said. And let's look at it here.
Go there. So they said there's a medical examiner's explanation of the shooting.
And I think that's where the cut resumes here.
Medical examiner's
But there's all that stuff that was not included in this cut. So it literally jumps right there. Let's see everything that they've cut there. I don't need that. 1909. Some relevant stuff.
Planted in the woods near a crime scene.
I
That's
agree.
not convincing evidence to
I
me.
concur with the fact that that's a possibility.
Okay, so I concur with the fact that that's a possibility. Not included, which is interesting. Interesting that that was not included.
So you
Logically possible.
I think, have said on a platform that you were a gunsmith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for how many years?
Many years.
For many years.
Mm-hmm.
You also said that you were an Army sniper.
I wasn't a sniper in the Army.
Okay.
And I never said that. By the
Sorry,
way.
your wife tweeted that you were an Army sniper.
Yeah, I don't know. Like 15 years ago, she said something.
Does it
She
change
said that
15
Yeah, that's so 15 years ago she was a liar, and what, now she's not?
years later?
She said that it was colloquial.
Like, okay, this is kind of beside the point, but interesting that this also got cut. Re-examination. I lost my moddiness. I committed a crime. That was a while ago. I just went and cleaned up when I had to remove the temporary mod that we had. I cleaned out some people that I haven't seen around in a while. But also I'm not a mod on your channel either, so I think we're even. But no, I'm not mad at you. Andrew is odd in general, says Monkey Brain. That is an interesting username. I think I've seen you around before. It looks familiar. Cloudy, welcome back. Nice to see you. In edited time, that is more appropriate. Andrew's cutting the video. That is to be expected. I suppose it is to be expected. This has been cutting everything else, but it's just for somebody who's going around like accusing people of, cutting things out of context about him every time, including, he himself has done that. So have basically, well, the sort of clapping seals that are most of his audience that basically parrot everything he says. They've also said that about anything that's of him. So it's interesting that the person that's accusing others of doing that left and right in quite like a paranoid fashion, honestly. It's funny that he's doing it literally left and right himself, which I read up earlier a little bit. I thought it's kind of projection, probably, when people are so used to doing a thing and they sort of expect that everybody else is doing what they're doing. So they start like accusing other people of doing what it is that they know they're doing. So it seems like it's one of those. Oh no. Yes, thank you for covering it. Oh, well, you're welcome. Enjoy. All right, let's see what else is missing.
So
Army sniper is a colloquial term?
Yeah, I was never an Army sniper.
Okay. What did you do in the Army?
So far, he cut the part where he says, I concur that that's a possibility, something to that effect.
She then corrected it and said you taught rifles in the Army?
No, I didn't teach rifle. No, I taught rifles as a private citizen.
Okay.
And I was an NRA instructor for many years alongside my gun shop.
As with your expertise, when she gave testimony on the stand, Samantha Carner, that there was dust and there was debris that was found in the gun barrel.
Yep.
And then when we had the person who, and this was, I believe, Caitlin Oliver, who explained painfully about the DNA, the prints.
Well, let's start with the point at a time.
I'm not done.
Yeah, this is, again, she keeps, every time I hear this, I kind of cringe a little bit because she keeps saying DNA and then the prints. And I don't know if she means like DNA, comma, prints, but she keeps like using them interchangeably, it seems. And it's really confusing for me. Or like if she means like there's if she's calling DNA like some kind of DNA print, which I think is something I've said before that might have been a possibility.
You said something, so I'm going to finish my thought, right?
You don't want to do a point in time?
No, well, sure. If you want to respond to,
Well,
but I want you to respond to 2 points.
debris.
I want you to start with 2 points.
Okay.
Dust and debris in the gun
2 points. he can't hold that many points in his mind at once. That's too many for him.
barrel.
Yeah.
Secondly, the fact that there were
Since
5.
we've seen, I'm sure everybody has seen some of this before. I'm going to go a little faster on this one. We'll do 0.7.
5 sets of prints, 5 plus actually by the testimony, 5 sets of prints for which we already had the woman who worked for the FBI forensics testify that above 2 prints, if you're taking a sample, it's no longer a science, right?
So basically, there's a bunch of stuff going on here where she's explaining all this DNA stuff. He cut all of that out. He cut out all this other stuff where he's conceding basically that, oh, that's a possibility. He cut that out. I'm going to skip around a little bit since, again, I'm sure everybody has seen most of this before. There's another piece here where there's like the so what I don't know, which is also, I think I've seen going around somewhat of a meme as well.
Possible.
Let's give it. Let's just grant this for a second.
And then let's just grant this. The famous let's just grant this.
A possibility that his fingerprints were degraded.
It's not a possibility. It's a fact. The person who took
hang
it.
on, I'm just
Okay.
granting it for the sake of argument.
You should grant it because it's a fact.
Okay,
that
so
she
now,
presented.
I find that so annoying.
granted. So what?
What do you mean? So what?
Yeah. So what? What does that prove?
And then the so what thing. This was all. It's interesting the things that were cut.
It proves that if his prints were the most degraded amongst 5 of them, you're going to have to explain how that's possible if he's the one that recently fired the weapon.
Yeah. So wait a second. You're saying that it's an impossibility that if his fingerprints are the most degraded,
I'm telling
if
you to
that's the
explain
case.
it. You're the gunsmith.
Well,
so
wait a
explain
second. How would a gunsmith give an analysis on fingerprints or DNA? Do you think that I work in a DNA laboratory
So
with
your answer
fingerprints?
is I don't know. You can just say you don't know.
But
You
I
don't
did.
have to.
But I did.
No, you said so what? So
Yeah,
say
so-
I don't know. I
but what
actually
would
don't have an
that- what would
explanation for
that
that,
prove,
Candace.
though, is my question.
Well, I think that what it would prove is that it is a more viable theory that people who had stronger prints on the gun may have used it more recently.
Did they say who else had fingerprints on the
They
gun?
named Matt Robinson explicitly,
Okay.
and this was a part of the.
All right, we get the point. There are a few concessions basically that he's made in that stretch of time that was cut out. And over here, it's all just like, oh, she says a thing and like, bam, look, we got some evidence here. And it's like, oh no, her argument falls apart in real time. I think we get the point. We don't, again, since I'm sure everybody has seen most of this debate, we're sort of calling out the things that are cut in an interesting way here, not necessarily going through the entire debate today, because we did most of that already. Let's see. Here's the other cut.
Said that was overwhelming. Actually,
That's not what I said.
it is. You could even pull
Patrick,
your
did
own
I say
clip.
that?
Can you?
Let's get some context over here.
Discuss that. And on the screwdriver that he left behind, it's over.
Okay, so this is where she brought up this tweet that he made, which was, of all the things that she brought up, at least it was relevant to the debate. Things that his team dropped in were like random things like, oh, did you accuse Erica Kirk of this or that, which are not relevant to the debate. The debate was about whether Tyler Robinson was guilty or if he was a patsy. Nothing to do with Erica Kirk or anything else. So at least the things that she brought up were relevant. And this was the one where I don't know if they're going to read the whole thing here, but he says the car pulling in, Robinson getting out of it, the fact that he's seen. I think they mentioned that in the debate that, he's not really seen, but people, I find this so annoying. Every time I've seen this on Twitter, Twatter, online, other people that are, pro, put Tyler into jail so that they can kill him. It's those people. They tend to say this thing of like, oh well, it's a fact that he was seen on camera. He was seen on camera. He was seen here. He was seen there. Like, where? Can you point to where you see Tyler Robinson? Because I don't see Tyler Robinson. I see maybe similar outfits like half the time, and the outfits aren't even the same. He changed his outfit how many times allegedly? It's the things that they're asking us to believe is ridiculous. But the fact he is seen 4 other times on camera, the DNA on the roof and on the screwdriver. Again, I don't know what he means by DNA on the roof and on the screwdriver, because there was DNA on the screwdriver, but there was no DNA on the roof. There were like droplets that they found of sweat and stuff that they tested, but they couldn't connect it to anybody. And there's no, like, on the physical roof, the only DNA that was on there was the screwdriver. So it's not the roof and on the screwdriver. It's on the screwdriver, which is a movable object that ended up on the roof. And then, of course, he says that he left behind, as if we know that for a fact, which we don't. So all of these things that he listed here as what makes it overwhelming, he listed these items, and then he said that's what's overwhelming. And then now during the debate, when he's being called out, like, hey, this thing doesn't really line up, this doesn't line up, like, none of these things are particularly overwhelming or even really regular whelming, are either separate or together or with others. Like, if you're like, hey, what's overwhelming, and you list these things and none of them are even like regular whelming, the fact that he's overwhelmed is crazy. So he's obviously playing it down here. Let me catch up on chat here. Send that says Candace did a good job of controlling the conversation. I would have to agree with that, I think. After that private arms comment, I would ask Andrew, have you ever met Victor Markstead? That would be an interesting thing if they did happen to know each other. That would be pretty out there. But I mean, there's lots of people that are into guns, so I don't know if that's really, but it would be very interesting if they did happen to know each other. I would find that extremely weird. But at least it doesn't seem like they do. It proves there's a likelihood, says sent that. She did a good job of explaining points of the hearing you didn't know. I thought so too, especially the whole like, oh, you know, the parents turned him in. I didn't even know that. I wasn't familiar that there was like a whole, you know, he said, she said with this other cop guy or retired cop or whatever that ended up going with him. I know that there was a guy that was like a retired cop that ended up going with the parents to and with Tyler to like Tyler to turn himself in. But I didn't know that there was like this whole statement behind it and everything. I think I started following the case after all of that was out, probably. I think it would be worth it to go back and take a closer look at some of these things that happened in the beginning that maybe there's other people besides me that haven't been following the case from the very beginning, and there's things that we might have missed. But that was a good example that was news to me, and I thought I knew the case like relatively well, but even to me I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know that there was this, like, all these interviews were done and that there's, you know, we know the contents of them and things like that, and that, you know, the parents, when they were interviewed, there was no such statement from the parents, all of that. Both of them sounded sort of knowledgeable, but they're absolutely only popular because of personality. I don't know. I think Candace is pretty knowledgeable in general about the things that she studies. Not like, and I don't know. She seems smart to me. Obviously, I don't know that for a fact, but from the conversations that she has with other people and from the show that she does, which of course, you know, she could have help, she does have help finding the information, but at least like being able to hold the information and bring it out at the proper time. I mean, that's all the data we really have of whether anybody is smart or not, is how they absorb and collect information and how and when they choose to use it, basically. And she seems to be doing that pretty well, so I have to give her props for that. I don't know about Wilson. I don't think he's, you know, stupid. I think that it's it's very strong. Don't get excited. I don't mean strong physically or emotionally. I mean, he has this very strong like aura of confidence, but as soon as you poke at it a little bit, it seems to fall apart right in front of you. So he comes out very like, oh, you know, I know this, I know that, like acting like he knows things. But as we have seen from this debate specifically, for instance, when he's called out on it, which usually he doesn't get called out, and that's kind of how he's been floating by this whole time, is people don't call him out, they don't call his bluff, because he seems so confident. Like people don't generally expect people that seem confident to be lying and bluffing, but it seems like he is quite often, and people don't usually call him out for it. And the few times somebody does, he falls apart. All right, let's resume what they're discussing here, and we'll see what. Oh, wait, this was. I was blabbing so much I got a little bit lost. This was the other one.
Whelming, man.
Yeah, but that's not an exhaustive list.
Well, just so we're clear, you did tweet it.
But it's not an exhaustive.
Yeah,
well,
but just
you
5
said
seconds ago, you should concede.
You said I only said this one thing and said that was overwhelming. Actually,
that's not what I said.
It is. You could even
Patrick,
pull your
did
own
I
clip.
say that?
Can you fact check if that was said or not? I did not hear her say
So the
this.
thing that's funny here is like we still aren't getting to any of these inferences. So
Why are you pivoting?
So
but just say you
well,
were
I'm
wrong.
not. I'm
It's cool
gonna-
to just say I was wrong.
No,
I did say it.
I'm not wrong. So back to the tweet aspect here. It was really funny. That's not an exhaustive list of why I find it.
I didn't say it was exhaustive. I
believe this was the other one. I'm getting lost in my tabs here. This would be. I think this would be the one that's towards the end. I got confused with my tabs. I was gonna do this as a video, like a standalone video, where I could organize better, but I was like, oh, we'll just do it live. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I think I was wrong to do that. I think it might have been more organized if I had done it offline and just posted it, but I wanted to do it live because I was like, oh my god, it's all right here. I can just pull it up and find it live. This one is cut at 16:25.
Charlie Kirk.
I think in
and
the
you
end,
have
Or this is the one where she apparently gets cornered. I think there was another cut here, but I can't. I got lost in my links. I gotta be better organized. There is one right here somewhere, where
No
the
evidence.
cornered one.
for it all that you'll give us.
well, I already did tell you where it came from. Like I said, I can explain it to you. I can't understand
Did
it
that
for
same
you. So if
higher
you
up
need to,
tell you
if you
that
need
he was
to,
going to kill, or that France killed Charlie Kirk, or just that you were in danger?
they said that the French Foreign Legion was involved and on the ground that day.
Oops. Let's get some context here.
You
Times I just didn't
literally-
say it in the way that you wanted
You
me to
just
say
kind of
it.
obfuscate and you run away from it. But I would like for you to
let's
actually
just go through
focus
every
on it.
clip that you guys have prepared, because it's pretty. I think with full confidence, people will recognize the strategy that you're trying to employ. So let's get to the next clip you have prepared.
Sure, they can pull up whatever clips
whatever
they want.
it is
yeah.
that you guys have prepared. So let's
But
go.
I would still. On this point, I just want to make sure that you have full confidence that France and Israel were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
I think in
and
the
you
end,
have no evidence for it at all that you'll give us.
Well, I already did tell you where it came from. Like I said, I can explain it to you. I can't understand
Did
it
that
for
same
you. So if
higher
you
up
need to,
tell you
if you
that
need
he was
to-
going to kill, or that France killed
47.
Charlie Kirk, or just that you were in danger?
They said that the French Foreign Legion was involved and on the ground that day. I've already said that. You just don't like hearing it.
Let me just ask one question, and I'm going to bring it to you.
Sure.
The question is in regards to, I've not seen that clip, so I'm seeing it now. I'm full confidence. I believe that Israel French was involved. Is that also based on a source that somebody told you that Israel was involved in the?
It's supposed to be
That
47.
I mean, it was a lot of information, but
Well,
like
you didn't give specifics who it was from.
not in the first email because I figured they would like.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if they do contact you,
100
are you
yes.
comfortable giving 100%?
So it seems like there was some stuff cut about this French Foreign Legion stuff.
assassination of Charlie Kirk, or is that a gut feeling?
So in terms of Israel, I mean, what I've said is what I publicly have said here. I do think that at the end of this, we are going to find that Israel was involved. I do.
Because there was stuff here where they were like questioning her about like, oh, you know, this French Foreign Legion, and then it looks like they cut all the stuff about her discussing what she did. Like she reported it to the proper authorities, and I think if I remember correctly, he basically conceded like, you know, that was the right thing to do. Like what else should she have done? I think he tried to push back a little bit, like, oh, why didn't she report? You know, take it to the cops or something, and she did.
It's what I heard from somebody.
And I have this information.
Sure.
And of course, if they wanted to open a file on it, which I thought was quite mysterious, that Trump's office never got back to us. It was kind of weird about like from maybe they're not the correct office to. I did receive a response from Tulsi Gabbard's office, but I don't think there was ever any investigation.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any of that is in this one. Let's keep playing this one.
Now, in terms of any of the hard evidence that's been presented.
17.
You that Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie. I would go,
like hearing it.
let me just ask one question, and I'm going to bring it to you.
Sure.
The question is in regards to, I've not seen that clip, so I'm seeing it now. I'm full confidence. I believe that Israel French was involved. Is that also based on a source that somebody told you that Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, or is that a gut feeling?
So in terms of Israel, I mean, what I've said is what I publicly have said here. I do think that at the end of this, we are going to find that Israel was involved. I do. Now, in terms of any of the hard evidence that's been presented, I think this has been a huge problem that a lot of us have had is that they won't even explore anything else that was going on in Charlie's life personally. So if we're not satisfied that Tyler Robinson did this in any way, then every alternative theory should be explored. Other evidence should be brought forward. We've done that in our capacity. Like when people keep saying she has no evidence, it's kind of crazy. I think we've broken like more stories than any news source in the world. I mean, down to pictures, details, police officers, what the dog's name was, because we're not the only people that believe there's a conspiracy here. The police officers that were involved, the many police, sheriff's offices, that were departments that were involved that day, all believe that there was a conspiracy. Down to the U.S. Marshals believe that there was a conspiracy. They were, my sources at the U.S. Marshals were saying they were basically sent on a wild goose chase that day.
But do you see how you say my sources?
You're not allowed to have sources.
Well,
like
the thing is funny.
So is CNN allowed to have sources?
Well, hang on. I have sources. If I said I have sources that claim none of that's true.
Yeah, because because here she's like, oh yeah, you know, I turned it in here.
Got it. So the call was, hey, I've been told some.
This is like where she's getting the sources, and she's been emailed, and then she's like, oh yeah, I turned it into Tulsi Gabbard. I turned it in here. I sent it to Donald Trump.
The email.
Yes.
Email was, I've been told.
I have information. Yeah, that the French Foreign Legion was on the ground during Charlie's assassination, and that. I mean, it was a lot of information, but like,
you didn't give specifics who it was from.
Not in the first email, because I figured they would like.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if they do contact you,
100,
are you
yes.
comfortable giving 100% who it is?
I would absolutely give them as much information as possible.
Can I ask a question? If whoever's the U.S. government, why are you not?
Yes, it's very strange to me.
You know, so if that's the case, now they may respond back and say we did. You know, that's their position.
I did. That's why I did it in writing.
And so I'm glad that's the case because. So if they
and right away in Trump's office, Margot got right back to me. She said it was on his desk, so he has that. There's no.
And if you do say that and they contact that individual, obviously you don't have to leak your sources here. Is there enough credibility where that person would be willing to talk to them and explain?
Yeah. So this whole like, oh, I went and I did all the right stuff is completely missing. It seems. Like could have time affecting. Oh, the fingerprints. Sorry, I'm a little behind the chat here. Is there no video of him taking the CCTV shot, the video where he jumps off the building? Is there no footage from before that? Yeah, it seems like they did this whole trimmed supercut of random clips of what looks to me like random people. And by random, I mean probably not random, but not the same person, at least. All trimmed together that tell this story of like, oh, he went over here, he went over here. But even the clips that they do provide, first of all, they're skewed, so made to look thinner than they actually are. And they seem to stop before the person is out of view. So a lot of them seem to end before like they should. Like we can see like the person can keep walking and the clip can keep happening. It's not like they, run off out of view of the camera each time. There's like you can tell the clip keeps going, but for some reason they're not showing us parts of it. And then they're not showing us like exactly what happened. Like from what they present, it's like the supercut of like, oh, here's a guy walking up the stairs. Here he is walking in the garage, etc. Mostly stairs, a garage, and then like some dot running around on the roof. And they put it all together, and they're like, oh yes, so here's the same person doing all this. Don't mind that he's in different outfits. He's constantly changing. Apparently somewhere we don't see him doing that, but apparently he's supposed to be changing. There's a rifle that we don't see either. All of this stuff is not adding up. And that's a good question. Like, where's the other footage? And there would be more footage from at least what it looks like. If they have cameras everywhere, they have... like, this campus is full of cameras. So it's crazy that they don't even have footage of his face. And when they do, it doesn't look like him, at least from the stuff that was leaked. And then they keep giving us this like super blurry stuff, even though things that are less blurry exist. So it's all very sketchy. And Japanders to a stupid audience. I think that some of them may be stupid. Like some of any audience can be stupid, but I don't know if I would go that far, honestly. I think it's possible that a lot of people are just worried about the implications of what it means to reject the main like Fed narrative. It basically means that, wow, there must really be a conspiracy, and if people that are supposed to be on our side are willing to do something like that to somebody that thought that was on their side, it's a scary situation to be in, to realize that like, wow, you're really powerless and you think you have the power of this, strongest government ever on your side, but no, you don't. You really don't. That they're not on your side. They're on their side. And if they could toss you under a car and run you over to get an extra buck, they probably would. And I think that's probably a scary realization. And I can understand why people don't really want to believe it. But also a lot of them are stupid for sure. So I won't completely deny that. Candace has strong recall. She does seem to have pretty strong recall indeed. There's a blurry video of someone on the roof, not clear taking a shot, not clear there's a gun. Yep, I agree with that. Knowledge and intelligence are separate categories. They're both quick thinkers, but they don't have access to the discovery. That's what I meant. Yeah, that seems to track. And I think it doesn't seem like the defense even has access to all of the discovery, which is very concerning. There's like filing after filing of them being like, hey, we don't have it, we should have it. I don't know if it's like this in other countries, but in America, the prosecution should give the defense all the evidence that they have on the person that is being charged. And it has been such a struggle for like every single piece of evidence. And I think it's still the case that they still don't have a lot of it. I don't know like exactly what they have now and what they don't, because it's been like of this whole period of time is like they had things right away, the feds, and then they wouldn't hand it over until like the last minute. And even after the last minute, like they had to go back to court constantly being like, we still don't have this, we still don't have that. And that's shady behavior. Like our government should not be acting shady like that. It is completely inappropriate. If you have evidence, give them the evidence. That's how our system works. It's how it's supposed to work. But it's clear that there's something they're wanting to hide. Otherwise, why try to drag it out like that? Why stretch the time? Like they clearly have all this stuff. Just hand it over. It's not hard to put things on a drive or hand somebody like some photocopies. Like it's not difficult to do that. So what other reason is there for them taking this long and refusing to hand stuff over and refusing to release videos in like the proper format and like keep blurring stuff, keep cutting stuff? Just drop all of it. What's the big deal? Like what is it that they're hiding? They clearly are okay with releasing some footage. It's not like, oh, we can't release footage because reasons. It's like they've released some, but why not the others? What makes the other footage so different that they're not releasing it? That's a good question. I know because I asked it. The video shows someone crawling on the roof, laying in a prone position, but no visible gun or shot. That is also true. It seems like whatever it is that the person has that they're carrying is like a jacket or like something flimsy, or it doesn't look like a firearm. There's no firearm that I can see. If they had any kind of firearm on them, it could have been like a pistol or something, but that's not what the state is alleging killed Charlie Kirk. There's supposed to be a long, big gun up there, and there just isn't. Joe Rogan offered to host a debate in a more appropriate place for debates, fully funded by Willie. Candace like Willie. I remember that from last stream too. Apparently that's his new nickname. Candace refused and insisted to have it in her small home. Kent was one of her sources, right? Yeah, Kent is the guy that quit because of partially because of this Charlie Kirk stuff, I believe. Yes. And Andrew Colbert gave like for the original message, one of her sources being like, I'm sure she has a lot of sources for different things, but specifically for that text message where I believe this was the one where Charlie was talking about the Jewish donors are like meat or something, all the stereotypes, and that I have no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause, that famous one. I believe that's the one that she got from Joe Kent. She called me trash. Hello. Hi, glow in the dark. Kent was probably someone who saw her report, then he resigned and said there was information on foreign involvement, which investigated and it was shut down. Yeah, that was super shady. Everything that is happening around this case is super shady. Like every time you turn around, there's something shady happening. Monkey Brain says PPD is shady. He's just a human billboard. I agree. He does seem very shady. Apparently he runs an MLM business, which I don't even think is a real business. As far as like, in my opinion, I don't think that multi-level marketing companies are real businesses. I think they're scams, in my personal opinion, and many others who have looked into this stuff, that it's basically like they are pyramid schemes. Basically, that's what they are. It's a, how can we find ways around being legally a pyramid scheme, and basically we are a pyramid scheme in all the ways except for like some particular thing. Usually it's like they have some like product that they're selling or something, and they're like, oh well, because they get a physical item, it's technically not a pyramid scheme. It's like, what? Or like, oh, they're selling stuff and there's physical items involved, or whatever it is, whatever it is that they use to get around it. It's basically like they have a pyramid scheme structure and they find like one thing that, you know, doesn't fit into the official pyramid scheme definition that would make it illegal, and they go with that. And it's very sad because a lot of people fall for them and they think like, oh, you know, we can make money, and people work really hard working on this stuff. Like they literally spend all of the waking hours working on stuff like this, and they lose money. It's very sad. And so if somebody owns an MLM, I think that they're probably like the worst person ever. So I heard that he owns one or runs one or something. So yeah, that tracks. If so, audience, this contains someone stupid who volunteered to be the stupid one here. I don't think that that's true right now. If there is no burn, there was no 30-06 involved, says Professor Hoodoo. Wacky maybe. The mods here are the wacky ones. I don't know, I think everybody's a little wacky in like a good way. Everybody has something that makes them unique. We're all very special, beautiful snowflakes. I'm just kidding, don't kill me. All right, let me find my notes. And where are we at?
We're pulling that up.
Okay. And I don't I'm not disputing that he could have been hit with a projectile. We're not disputing that, so I don't know why this was brought up as a fact check. I would like to know how you got to the conclusion, and I'm just going to throw it right back at you, because for some reason you permit yourself to do it, and that's what I'm demonstrating, is that you permit yourself to do it, and then you say, when I do it, it's a conspiracy, right?
No.
How are you able to infer off of blurry staircase images that that is Tyler Robinson?
Yeah, so in that particular case, what you do is you take that evidence, you combine it with other evidence. So it's not just that Tyler Robinson is seen in the staircase.
Why are you calling him Tyler Robinson in the staircase? That's what I want to get to.
Yeah, because, I mean, we'll just
I think it's
use
cut
this.
so well that we missed it. 259. It's like right here. So I don't know why this is
Hit with a projectile. We're not disputing that, so I don't know why this was brought up as a fact check. I would like to know how you got to the conclusion.
Okay, so that was both her speaking. This one is very smooth. The other one was very obvious. No wonder I couldn't find some of these, because they're very, very smooth.
We're pulling that up.
Okay, and I
Oh,
don't.
no, sorry, wrong one. And what's in this?
Exhaustive list.
Well, just so we're clear, you did tweet it.
But it's not an exhaustive.
Yeah,
well,
but just
you
5
said
seconds ago, you should concede.
You said I only said this one thing and said that that was overwhelming, actually.
That's not what I said.
It is. You could even pull
Patrick,
your
did
own
I
clip.
say that?
Can you fact check if that was said or not? I did not hear her say
So the
this.
thing is funny here is, like, we still aren't getting to any of these inferences. So
Why are you pivoting?
so
But
that-
just say
well,
you were
I'm
wrong.
not.
It's cool to just say I was wrong. I didn't say it.
I'm not wrong. So back to the tweet aspect here. It was really funny. That's not an exhaustive list of why I find it.
I didn't say it was exhaustive. I just said you said it.
And on top of well, no, you didn't. You said that I only said this one thing, and then said based on that it's over. Well, I didn't. You didn't mention that I mentioned the screwdriver, DNA, all these other things. You never mentioned any of that. So no, you're actually incorrect there. But on top of that, moving over to the actual evidence itself.
Are you?
Yes, I'm okay.
Oh, this was
back to
funny.
the
Ask if
evidence
you're okay.
itself. Yes,
Actually,
I'm
I'm
fine.
glad you're asserting that you're
But
okay.
back-
I wasn't worried.
He was certainly not okay. If somebody, if he thought that she was gonna say, "Are you okay?" He's done similar things before. By the way, I think I don't remember if I brought this up when we were first doing the like play and review reaction to the debate, but this reminded me so much of when he like finished her sentence for her and he was wrong. This reminded me so much of that clip that is going viral of like the sniz liquor thing. He was at that time during the sniz liquor thing. He was also riled up in a very similar way. You could tell because he kept like over talking and he wouldn't let the other person speak. Because he was like uncomfortable with what the opposition was trying to say, and so he kept like trying to finish the sentences for her, but he was wrong. And here he is doing the same thing. He's trying to finish the sentences for her just to interrupt, and he's wrong. And something else that is like the way that he's finishing them, it sort of gives away his, in my opinion, his internal like I guess mindset of like, oh, you know, I'm not okay. And then when she's like, oh, are you? And then he's like, I'm okay. You know, like trying to deny it. That's what I think. The guy with the yacht rock voice was not the original investigator. I'm not sure what a yacht rock voice means. Is that a person? Kent was director counterterrorism. Oh, thank you so much. That resigned after a war in Iran and after Charlie was assassinated. He wasn't a source. He was top dog investigator that resigned because of his integrity and lies. But he was also Candace's source, I believe, because he was the one that sent her the text message that I brought up earlier. The whole like, you know, I will have no choice but to win a personal cause. I believe that he was the one that sent that to her. Because there was a whole people were all upset about it for a while. Why are you deleting my posts? I'm not sure what you mean.
Worried about your health. I'm just saying that I just
this.
said you tweeted this. You said, no, I didn't. We got a fact check. And now you're like just going to gaslight me and pretend that I
There's
said
no gaslighting.
it wasn't exhaustive. I never said that. I just said you did say this.
Zero gaslighting.
I didn't say you couldn't have said more,
Yeah.
but I would like to address what you
this
said
is
in
your
that tweet.
time. If this is how you want to spend it interrogating my position, you can do it that way.
I'm just addressing what you
Brought up as a fact check. Let's see if I can find this for sure. 30. Okay. Oh, a little bit
We're
off.
not disputing that, so I don't know. I'm not disputing that he could have been hit with a projectile. We're not disputing that, so I don't know why this was brought up as a fact check. Could you bring up 1102 Utah rule? Because this is an unbelievable point that you're making by saying,
Oh, brought up as a fact check. Could you bring up the Utah rule?
back at you, because
Yeah,
for some
that's
reason
fair.
you permit yourself how could have been hit with a projectile. We're not disputing that, so I don't know why this was brought up as a fact check. I would like to know how you.
I would like to know. Okay, so there's a cut right there. That was no wonder I was like, where is it? Because this one was very smooth because it's her talking and then it's still her talking, and it looks like there's nothing in between. This was very well done. The other one was not so good. The other one was pretty obvious, but this one was very well done. It was like, oh my gosh, where's the cut? So here it is. She says,
Been hit with a projectile. We're not disputing that, so I don't
I'm not disputing that. I don't know why this was brought up as a
know
fact
why
check.
this was brought up as a fact check. I would like to know how.
And then I would like to know, that's where the cut is. What here she says,
Could you bring up 1102 projectile? We're not disputing that, so I don't know why this was brought up as a fact
I don't know why this was brought up as a fact check. And then instead of saying, I would like to know,
check. Could you bring up 1102?
could you bring up 1102? And then there's a whole conversation here. I think it's like 11 minutes. Yep, there's apparently 11 minutes and 41 seconds, almost 12 minutes that was cut in a way that makes it seem like, here she is talking and here she is still talking. It's just another angle. And this was very natural sounding. And this whole part was missing. We're about to play it. The missing part. No one is seeing the posts. Yeah, I can see them in chat too. Look at the screen. It looks very tiny for me, so I can't read the chat on there. I'll have to check it after. But for me, like when I see like the chat that's on the screen, like the pink outlines, I can't really read that from here. It's all like very, very small on my screen because I have other stuff pulled up. Definitely called me a snowflake. Oh no. I apologize. I'll never do it again. Willie behaves very cornhole-y often. I'm not familiar with that, I guess, comic. A comic is like more like a physical, like drawn thing, right? I don't think comic is appropriate, but like an animated series, adult animated series. I'm not familiar with it, but I am familiar with that character's name. Yeah, it probably is YouTube. I'm not deleting anything, and Rick Nell would know because I think we'd be able to see that something was removed. I don't think Kent was the source. I think that was removed from TPUSA. They wanted him brought on treason charges. I thought that he was the source. You know what? Let me just look this up because I have all of the Candace transcripts as well. This is probably an easy thing to find out real quick. Over here was Candace's source for the, I don't know what we would call it, the meet all stereotypes. No choice but to abandon pro-Israel cause. Text message. I thought she said it on her show. I could be wrong. It's very possible because this was a while ago that this was happening, and I know that people were like attacking him for it. But I thought that she said that that's who it was. But I could be misremembering. That is possible. I'm sorry, Professor. I don't know what to say. But if Kent did, fine. I'm not arguing he shouldn't. I just don't think we know for sure. It was a while ago. I could very well be wrong. Yeah, we do see some. Maybe there's some other. If there's like gun related stuff, I think YouTube might be removing it. It's from Beavis and Butthead. Oh, thank you. That sounds familiar, but I haven't seen it. If you're letting YouTube control your freedom of speech and direct the narrative, then I'm done here. Yeah, I mean, I don't see what I can do about that outside of like, there's them removing my channel, and then there's them not removing my channel, and I can try to speak my mind, but if they're doing stuff to the chat that I'm not aware of, I don't know how to prevent that. I'm sorry.
Utah rule, because this is an unbelievable point that you're making by saying that I am not allowed to infer off of evidence.
You can infer. I'm trying to follow the inference.
But
to
no, but
Patsy.
your entire reason, like you
So
asserted
this whole thing was cut.
that you believe there's overwhelming evidence on the basis of what we saw in the
Correct.
preliminary hearing. The entire preliminary hearing was hearsay.
Yeah, I'm fine with your inferences.
But no, you just literally said I couldn't do that. Yes, I can.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying from your inference, how do we get to Patsy?
This is how you got to Shooter. Tyler Robinson did it.
No,
the same
no,
way
no,
that
I
you
didn't
got to
get to
Tyler
just
Robinson.
Shooter for that.
Yes, you did. You again, this is something important, so we should pull up a fact check about what the 1102 Utah, and under their constitution, for the sake of a preliminary hearing, they do not have to have hard evidence. They don't have to put people on the
I
trial,
agree, they
swear
don't
them
have
in.
to.
But no, that's why the entire hearing was basically hearsay. Officer Bagley
But
was
not
saying
all of it, like I said.
the overwhelming
And again,
majority.
no
I mean,
dispute.
outside of the one
But
that you don't
there's- no,
want to
that's
give.
not
Please don't
what's
cut
in
me off.
dispute, though.
Outside of that is what's in dispute. It means
not.
that your entire brand of saying you don't have evidence, you don't have evidence, falls apart when the entire
Candace loves to do bird hands. She really does.
preliminary hearing is based off of hearsay. In fact, Lance's testimony before they had about an hour debate, actually maybe it was more than an hour debate before he sat, and they said this is not going to be allowed. You wouldn't even be allowed to do this. We'd be able to cross-examine him. The questions that they're asking Lance are all leading. And what did he say? Well, I'm the magistrate under Utah Constitution. 1102. It is my job to allow all of this so we can see if the state has enough here that we can then move to a trial, which will then they would not allow this stuff. They would say we get to cross-examine Lance. Lance
But
just
you're
can't
arguing
willy-nilly
things I'm not
say.
disputing.
No, but the entire substance of your argument is that people can't infer off of evidence.
No,
That's what you're saying
it's
to me. When you say Candace,
Here,
you
I'll
can't
give you
talk
the
about the greater
argument
prince, which is a
now.
fact.
Yeah, I'm not
and then
saying
infer
that.
off of that
Didn't say
that
that.
Tyler could have been a patsy.
You're just
I am
literally
telling you,
making stuff up. So
I'm
here's
not
what the
making stuff
position
up.
is.
I'm
I'm
not making
asking
stuff up.
this.
I'm
Have
saying
Rule 1102
that I think you
I'm just
pull that up.
asking
Pull that up.
how
I'm
you
doing
get there from the
exactly what the
inference.
state did. I'm
Okay.
looking at a piece of evidence and I am saying.
But you're not showing me how you get there
Can you
from the
describe to the
inference.
audience what Rule
Yes.
1102
So this,
means?
just so everybody who's watching this at home understands what I'm saying, even if he doesn't. What Andrew is arguing is that I don't have the right
He does not look good here. I can see why this was cut.
to extrapolate from
Never
a
made that
fact
argument.
like
Just making it up. Just purely making it up. I'm asking based on
Andrew,
based on
can I
your
show my
inference.
evidence? You just showed yours. Reliable hearsay.
You'll get a chance.
Reliable hearsay in criminal preliminary examinations. The entire preliminary hearing that you just saw was on the basis of reliable hearsay. And what that means essentially is the people who are making the statements can just say, Patrick told me that he did this on Monday. Patrick's not here, and that is they can allowed to take a piece
Again,
of evidence.
we've seen this,
and
so
then
I'll
you are
probably
allowed-
skip a little bit through this, but we can see that like he doesn't look good here. She's basically like teaching him a lesson. It's very like he's very like the unruly student that's like, I don't want to listen to the teacher, and she's like, let me explain this to you.
allowed to infer off of that evidence. Okay. Case in
Saying
point, that's a
nobody's
demonstration that's a demonstration of what I just did. I said the prints were the most degraded off of Tyler Robinson. And from that, what I am inferring is that it's plausible that Tyler Robinson was set up.
That doesn't.
Okay?
That's the point in contention.
That's not a point in contention. That's
the point in contention.
It's not a point in contention. If you're saying it's a
It
point,
is the point in contention.
It's not the point in contention. I'm telling you that is what the entire hearing allowed for. So the evidence that
Great,
he is
but we're
describing,
asking you
that he
now.
is using to argue his case, is all based on inference, not fact.
Great.
Inference, not fact. So
We're
what they
just-
are inferring off of the facts.
So again, we're going to take this, and I'm just going to even grant it because it's irrelevant. I'm asking how you get to the inference that even if you dispute that piece of evidence, that means Patsy. I'm looking for the logical chain for how you get to that inference.
What I am telling you is it's the exact same way that when you tweeted, I think that this evidence is overwhelming. When they say that looks like Tyler Robinson's car, he drives a similar car, okay? They are inferring that that's Tyler
Can you
Robinson.
walk me through the inference so that I understand?
It's not a fact. It's not a fact. When you show a blurry image, which you kept citing that we
No,
have
I'm
images.
talking about your inference that the fingerprints, even if they're degraded, equals Patsy. How do you
I
get
didn't
that
say,
inference?
I didn't say it equals Patsy. I think it is enough evidence that it should be explored, which is exactly what this preliminary
There's
was
no,
in the
but
inverse.
that's not.
Yeah, all this was cut. I don't know if we're going to play like the whole like 11 minutes that was cut, but the point is like there's a significant amount here where he's not, doing his best, which most of this debate he was not doing his best. So it's very interesting that they found like the few clips where he was doing better than he was at other times and basically stitched it together in a way that makes it seem like, oh, here's Candace speaking, here she is continuing to speak, and none of this was addressed, and look, now he's going to like own her or whatever. It's just very like, and this one was very sneaky. Like I did not even notice for a while. You saw it took me a while to find it. I played right over it several times because it was so, like the way that it was cut was very, very, very well cut. It just looked like it was another angle, which is something that they do in the show too. Like they've been switching angles and stuff. Like, oh, here she is on screen. Now they're going to switch over here. Very natural. So this was very easy to miss. Again, as I did miss it for a while, but I'm glad I found it. I was like, okay, it's right here. Where is it? And I'm glad that I found it. It took me a while. Then you won't have a show. Yeah, it's very. I think I've discussed the censorship stuff somewhat recently, but I think we can bring up again since it's in the chat here. Excuse me for a second. Never ever censor yourself. You don't have to censor yourself. I agree to a point. I think recently I played a clip from what's his name? I can't think of his name, but anyway, and basically it was like, okay, well, we have to use adult words for adult concepts, and I hear that, and I think that that's something that I have started to do, is basically if the topic takes me to a point where I have to discuss things that aren't comfortable for YouTube, I'm just gonna say the words and see how it's dealt with. And sort of see what happens, because I think that it's possible that we can, like, we don't have to self-censor as much as we've been trained to. So I'm working on that. And so if we do have to discuss serious topics, I'm gonna, just say the words instead of trying to innuendo my way around it or use like silly, ridiculous words. Like grapes are not a good substitute for something that's very serious. But it does go to a point. Like there is a point, especially for smaller channels. Here, say whatever you want to say. If you want money more than justice, you are a I don't know what hawk means. I don't know why I put an extra H there, but it's not even that. It's like, do I have a show where people see it, or do like 5 people see it for years and years and years, and it's literally only 5 people for years? Because I mean, that's still good. I'm still grateful for that, but it takes a lot to produce a show, and if only like 5 people ever see it, it's not a lot of incentive. Like I could make like if 5 people really want to know what I have to say, I don't have to do all this production for it. I could just post like on Twitter or whatever, and probably get my message out to more people. What happens is, and I think I saw another message that might be relevant here. Just get the information the best you can. That's sort of, I'm trying to do something in between. So I'm trying to not self-censor and see how that goes, but also like where appropriate. Like if the topic demands it, I will say the proper words that in English properly describe the situation. That's what I've been doing recently, and I think I'm going to stick with that. But if it's not related to the topic, I think that's something that doesn't even really need to be brought up, because what happens is those things do, like, YouTube really limits the reach, and by that I mean like there's no really point taking days and hours and however it is, depending on the video. Sometimes it's days, like producing a video, like the ones that I edit properly and everything, just for like a handful of people to see it, and then it dies, and YouTube doesn't ever show it to anybody, and nobody ever sees it again. Like there's a few videos I've done that cover these concepts, and even in those videos there's stuff that I bleeped out, and even if you bleep the stuff out, it's still like there was one where I could just probably pull it up. Let me grab one of these here, because we have a lot of tabs open anyway. Go on my channel. Well, let me just show you. So there's a few videos that have, like this one, they got Charlie Kirk doing ad reads from Beyond. This one, like very few people saw it, and I'm sure this was just like people happened to scroll past, or like they saw this video as part of like suggested from like my other videos where I purposely put it up there. Like if another video ends and you're like, oh, what do I watch next? And it like comes up for you. I've purposely put this video in some places, and that's probably like the only reason anybody has seen it, or people that specifically go to my page and like, oh, what else is new, which I really appreciate, by the way, for people that do that. But but there's some that like this one, you can tell like the difference between this one and other ones. It's like and I think part of it had to do with, like, originally it didn't say beyond, it said like the grave, which is very maybe sad. And see, that's nothing in this video is particularly like wrong. As far as like YouTube TOS, it's normal stuff, but like just because you're discussing something to do with death in general, it's probably because it was in the title or something. I don't know exactly what the issue was, but it's things like that happen, and it's like, well, why even bother, And that's like a 2-minute clip, which is like, whatever, it's not a big deal. But that was also in this one, I think, and this one took me like weeks to make this video. It's like an hour long video. And I wonder if it's because like this clip was also part of this, where not as many people saw it as they could have. And again, I'm not trying to be like ungrateful. I am really grateful for everybody that watches the videos. But I'm just saying, like, if you spend a lot of time working on something, it makes sense that you would want more people to see it, because otherwise, like, your work goes further. And then there's one here. I think it was this one here. This one, it looks like it got a little bit more, but initially this was literally like, I think maybe 10 people have seen it for the longest time. And this was, even if I titled it like, oh, it's for the indefensible, like no matter like how much I tried to like bleep and cut around like even the worst stuff, just because I freaking knew it was going to happen, it still happened. Like there's still something that I didn't cut all the way, or like it read through the innuendo or whatever it is that happened, but it's still like, it would not show it to people. Like YouTube just does not show things like this to people. And then there's a few, like I see that now that I think it's possible that it's more recently, some of them have picked up a little bit more, but like these like this one and this one specifically, for the longest time, they were literally at like, you know, less than 100 people have even like clicked on it. And out of 100 people that click on something, it's like maybe 5% of them will watch it all the way through or something like very low like that. So even if it says like something has, you know, 300 views, that's like 5 people that saw it. So again, I am grateful, but there is a line that it's not like YouTube is going to be like, oh, you know, you said this bad word. And it's very nefarious, honestly. I think it's like you're left guessing, like what was it that I did wrong? And you're left just like self-censoring further and further and further. And that's what I don't want to happen. So that's kind of why recently I've been like, okay, well, if the topic warrants it, I'm just going to say the words and I'm going to deal with it. And if not a lot of people see it, then, you know, that's just how it is. Maybe I won't spend as much time like editing videos like that, so I don't waste time on them. But that does tend to sort of control the kind of topics that you can do. And not to harp on this for too much longer, but basically bigger channels that already have a very large following, they can get away with stuff like that. They can get away with saying things straight, and there's nothing is lost. People still see their videos because they're already looking for them, which is not the case for me. For a very small channel, it's very different. If YouTube doesn't show my video to whoever's like on the homepage, there's hardly even any point to making them, because it's going to be like 5 people see it again, which could be accomplished with a tweet. 5 people can also read a tweet, and I don't have to spend like days trying to edit videos just to make them like spread the message further or whatever. Anyway, you get the point, hopefully. Bird hands, but YouTube messages you when you've been reported. That's kind of the thing. Like it doesn't. It really doesn't. When it's what we're talking about here is they just limit the reach. They basically make it so that nobody sees what you've made, and then they might as well have banned you. But it's worse because you're still like wasting your time making the stuff, but then nobody sees it. So it's even worse. Like honestly, I think it would be better if they were just like, oh no, you said naughty word, you know, strike one. You know, but they don't really do that unless it's very egregious and you're literally like out there calling people slurs and being even that is weird, because I've seen people do that and they don't get, like, nothing happens to them. And then I've seen people that are just trying to discuss something serious, and then, you know, nobody sees their stuff if they don't do it the right way. But yeah, okay, rant over. Let's get back into this. I'm gonna catch up on chat real quick, and then we'll get back into the videos. But I hope that explains it a little bit better. I know that not everybody was around for the first time I've done the rant, so I figured I could discuss it very briefly again. Hopefully it was somewhat brief, because it feels like it was forever to me. I used to be a hardliner anarchist and got nowhere. Didn't let people tell you that you aren't doing enough. I appreciate that. I think that really means a lot to me. Thank you for that. I also I also used to be a hardliner anarchist, and I also have gotten nowhere with that. So I feel you there. I feel you. I don't know if YouTube censors chat messages. It does. It does. I think it does. I think it does. It's probably more to do if it thinks it's like about guns or something specifically, because they get very upset about guns for whatever reason. I love the bird hands. Sometimes you miss Donovan. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna have to skip a few just so we can get back into the videos. You can say hi this way with, or I have tried to, like the video that I pointed out that I was like, oh, you know, this one I tried to sort of talk around it, and that's what I did there, and it still didn't work. Like I even call it the indefensible, and I talked around it basically in that exact way, and it didn't seem to work, at least for me. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if the topic warrants it, we'll just discuss it, and hopefully if enough people do it at the same time, they'll have to let us talk about serious things. But if it's not on topic, I'll probably not try to discuss it. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to discuss something like that if it's not the topic, because it would just make it so that the other topic that was trying to be discussed, you know, gets hurt. But I check your page, but I usually get your algorithm. Oh, that's so nice. But I mean, Ricknell, I think if you're the mod for something, you probably see it more. I would hope. I would hope that there's some logic in YouTube that lets mods know more than other people, at least. Mr. 8 hours before stream. Thank you, by the way. It's always nice to see you in the chat. When you're not in the chat, I get a little sad. I found you in my algorithm because of the Kirk case. I'll go back and find what was the first video. I'm curious. Oh, I think the first video was actually the pickle thing. And it just happened to be when I was starting up my like reaction channel, and that was the one where I saw it happen live, and I was like, no way, that's hilarious, and I clipped it, and that was my first one. Def not, we will save the world, friend. Your channel will be growing. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. She called me trash. I hope so. I hope that at least like some group of people can or would want to even hear what I have to say, because I do have stuff to say, and I think that would be cool. But you know, I'm not like delusional if it doesn't. If this is just like, you know, you guys and me for however many years, I think that's probably cool too. Like we'll just hang out and watch stuff together. It's not a big deal. I know a lot of people have these like aspirations of being like a big YouTuber, and like that'd be cool. But you know, this is cool too. So we'll do this. Let's see. Next one I want to look at. This was the one where she's cornered. The clip opens and he says, what would convince me? But there was something that was asked to her first, and that was skipped. And that would be here.
Tyler
But I
Robinson.
am sorry.
This is the part that was the full option. Let me close some of these tabs because this is getting kind of ridiculous. This is getting out of control. Completely out of control. 1640.
They said that the French Foreign Legion was involved and on the ground that day. I've already said that. You just don't like hearing it.
Let me just ask one question, and then I'm going to bring it to you.
Sure.
The question is in regards to, I've not seen that clip, so I'm seeing it now. I'm full confidence. I believe that Israel French was involved. Is that also based on a source that somebody told you that Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, or is that a gut feeling?
So in terms of Israel, I mean, what I've said is what I publicly have said here. I do think that at the end of this, we are going to find that Israel was involved. I do. Now, in terms of any of the hard evidence that's been presented, I think this has been a huge problem that a lot of us have had is that they won't even.
I think we accidentally went past it a little bit. I think that this must be one of those that's very. One of those like how the last one, like I couldn't see it at first. I think it must be one of those where it's quite good. I think it's right around here.
Kirk, or just that you were in danger?
They said that the French Foreign Legion was involved and on the ground that day. I've already said that. You just don't like hearing it.
Let me just ask one.
Yep. Okay. So this was. Okay. Yep. This is the one that we just did. I think this is the one where it was. Okay. Never mind. I think I'm trying to get organized my notes here. So this was the one that we did find, and there was quite a bit that was said. Okay, we got this one. We got the last one where Let's see. Yeah, the one where she's like, could you bring up the reach rule? Okay, we just did that one. This is the one that the medical examiner one. And yeah, so you just don't like hearing it, and then it cuts to let me just ask one question. And then what was missed in this one? Okay, this is the last one. I was like, where is it? Where is it? And I think I found it finally. And then he starts talking, and then what was discussed here.
That, I mean, it was a lot of information, but
Well,
like
you didn't give specifics who would
Okay, yeah. So this is what we just did, where I was like, okay, well, she kept discussing how she put those written reports. It was on Trump's desk. It was on Tulsi Gabbard's desk. She basically put in all these reports where it was supposed to go. And then 154. This was also not in it too, where he responds to it like, oh yeah, every lead should be followed up on. So it seems like there's not where they discuss where the whole, France, where it looks responsible, like here she is, putting the reports, they cut all of that out. And sure, it's not evidence, but it basically trimmed out the whole difference between, oh, it's not evidence versus how she here is discussing, well, I reported it and then I was ghosted, which I think would be good to know, considering everything. Like it's excluding things that is like, oh, hey, look, here she's being responsible and she's being ghosted by the government, which would be like, hey, maybe there is some kind of conspiracy by people who are looking at this without a bias, or even like with a bias, like, wow, they never even got back to her. It looks like she put in those reports and like nothing happened. That's crazy, but cut all that out. And then it ends. Oh, okay. There's no particular, like, nothing else missing here, but the way that it's trimmed on this one. BX is the BX one. Yep.
question and
doing it.
Apparently
Andrew
this
Colbeck,
ends.
his position is he's a spokesperson for Turning Point USA.
Uh-huh.
So when the crowd turns against Turning Point USA on the basis of a lack of information, or because there has been, I don't know, seeds sown of distrust, I would imagine, and forget answering my questions because it doesn't need to be me.
Aren't you sowing a lot of those seeds of distrust?
Well,
And it ends. Okay, so it ends with him doing like, oh, I gotcha. Aren't you sowing this? And then you can tell she starts to respond to that, but it was cut. And then they don't include the next part. Here's the next part here. And there is another.
doesn't need to be me.
Aren't you sowing a lot?
Here it is. This is the very end of what we just saw, so where he was just like, aren't you sewing? But then it keeps going here, obviously, because this is a full stream. And then there is another video that they did that starts up after this part, but this is obviously not included where she responds. But there is another the panic one that he does, which is a clip, which starts shortly after this point. So it seems you would think like, oh, here's a piece, but no, it's like, here's a piece with stuff cut out the middle that's convenient for her. Here's another piece that's with stuff cut out the middle that's convenient for her. And here's a piece that ends on him being like, oh, aren't you? And like a clever sounding line, but then doesn't include stuff that she responds with. And then shortly after that is like a new clip starts, from there. So it's very, the way that all of these are edited is very purposeful, I would say. Yep, that's what they call me, Mr. 8 hours before stream. Why is that funny? That sounds wrong for some reason. Can't even use creative words to cover topics. I know, right? What's a poor little ninja to do, Miss Nut? That's a good question. I guess they just don't really want us to talk about anything serious. And that's I can't imagine why. The serious stuff is the important stuff. There's other things that are funny, and there's other things that are unserious that are also important and also interesting to cover. But you can't only cover things that are unserious the entire time. That creates a very like shallow society, and I don't think I want to be a part of that. I do want to cover serious things. I guess we'll just try to cover them individually and try to not like muddy too much between the serious and unserious, which I would prefer to do, but it seems like it's better to at least like cover them individually so that other things don't get affected by it. Maybe I'll try doing that. Previously, I haven't been really doing that, especially during live streams, because it's just like whatever they discover is, or whatever they discuss is, or whatever is being played is what's getting discussed, rather. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I need to do, I've always been saying that I need to do more clips like from the live shows, and for some reason I feel weird doing it, so I've done it like a few times, but I need to really work on that. I just feel awkward about it. Just Wilson's foot is air guitaring Metallica's Master of Puppets. It's air guitaring quite a lot. It's the whole time. There's one song after another after another. It never ends.
A lot of those seeds.
It's playing a whole set.
Just trust.
Well, I think they're doing a pretty good job themselves, if I'm being honest. You can blame it on Candace all you want.
Well,
people love
you
to
know,
do that.
the thing is funny is
people
like,
act like I'm
I think
ground
their
zero.
PR, I'll be fair with you.
Ground zero of people not trusting Turning Point USA.
I think that there was some
actually
PR
kind of
there.
last.
I think there was some PR there. Sure, they could have done better.
He doesn't include this in his cuts.
Absolutely. I'm not disputing any of that. One thing, though, that I want to just directly ask you is, do you actually believe that anybody in TPUSA or Erica Kirk or Erica...
All right, and this is where I believe the next sentence is... Dun, dun. Or sorry, do. That's more appropriate. Instead of like a dun dun, which you expect, it's like a do. Derp.
One thing, though, that I am...
Very fitting.
I want to just directly ask you is, do you actually believe that anybody in TPUSA or Erica Kirk...
Yep, and there it is. And there it resumes. This one, I believe, is basically all the way through. Out of all the cuts, this is probably the most honest edit for 28 minutes. And right over here is maybe a little bit further in.
Yeah, I'll
So there is some time where there's no weird cutting, but then when it does happen again, you're just like, you get all comfortable. You're like, okay, this doesn't look like it's cut at all, and then it's cut.
I'll release it there.
Oh, this is the receipt stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that's my intention. But yeah, I'm fine with closings if you want to do closings.
What?
You know, I have my other question is about steakhouse receipt.
And then that's after the cut. Okay, so I'm fine with closings if you want to do closings. And then something happens, but not this.
Closings if you want to do closings.
What?
You know,
And there's the cut.
I have.
All right, let's see. This is, again, it's him on both sides, which is easy to miss. Like that one Candace one that I could not find earlier because it was the same speaker. So it's very clever when they do that. But you can tell because the topic sort of changes. It's like, oh, let's do closings. And then here's this other stuff all of a sudden. So that's a bit of a tell there. And let's see what's missed.
Fair.
Can
Name
you
all
name-
seven since
can-
you've been following the case.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead.
You name one.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, this is the whole, oh no. Oh no. Did he not include this? Oh no. Oh, that's kind of obvious. But okay, so there's the first hole that was cut is this whole exchange, which I think we've all seen it by now. I'll play some of it, but I think everybody has seen this by now. And then there was a second hole where it's like a callback to this exchange that he's like, oh, it's a momentary lapse. It's both of the things that were cut from this video have to do with this situation. First is like the actual situation where it happens, the viral clip of him not being able to name stuff. We'll play it again just for fun. And then another one later on where they call back to it for a second, where they like discuss it happening. So not even that this was removed. I mean, not even that this was removed where he can't name the things and he acts all stupid about it and annoying and obnoxious. And she calls his bluff and it's masterful. Not only that gets removed, but they also trim out even like the mention of it, that there was this momentary lapse, and how she says that, et cetera, et cetera. So both mentions of this fumble were removed separately in a 43-minute upload. So at first you're like, oh, wow, this video, it's all the way through, wow, this is going to be a full, honest, exact clip. They just start here, they end here. But nope, you get like right up here and everything changes. But we can watch it again. Why not? We should do it. Clip it and ship it, blab it and grab it. That's funny. Sedway philosophy. All 7. Yes, yeah, let's do it. We can watch it again. It doesn't get old.
Yeah, you named all 7.
I'm happy to do that, but can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
That's actually
okay. I think he's been charged with murder. I think he's not even sure about that one. And I know that it is wrong. She's going to tell him it's not exactly murder, but even that one, he's like, oh, I think. And he still tries to counter for himself. This is so cringe. This really doesn't get old.
Okay, great. Now name all 7.
He doesn't even. This is like
name all 7.
And I
can you name all 7?
I can.
Then do it.
Sure, you don't have to.
Do it. No, do it. I'll count them. Go ahead.
You don't
name
have to put
them.
your fingers up.
Okay,
I'll
name them.
Yeah, sure.
Name them.
It's interesting that this whole exchange was clipped, but he does end up discussing it. When we get like shortly after this, we'll get to the commentary videos where he does like the live streams and discusses it, where that has its own cuts, by the way, because he uploaded some clips of the live stream on his own channel as well. But what's missing from those is also very telling. But they do discuss it at some point in the live streams as well, and some of the stuff that's cut is related to this. So we'll play it just in case just in case somebody hasn't seen it yet. We'll play this exchange because there's things that we're going to discuss shortly that he discusses in his live streams that call back to this moment that were also some of them trimmed from what was posted. So it's like whatever gets posted on the like videos tab of the Crucible seems like it's very curated and tries to remove like any sort of fumble, any kind of even mention of a fumble that he's done, any sort of like part where he doesn't look like he's winning. So if you've only seen the Crucible from the videos tab, and like if you miss his live streams, if you don't see like all of his live debates, or even if you do see his live debates, but you're like already really like Andrew, so you think like you don't notice the parts where he doesn't do well, and then you don't see them again because like the parts that he clips, he clips out the parts where he doesn't do well. So especially if you only watch, I know a lot of people don't watch live streams. Some people only watch the videos tab of things. And if you only watch the videos tab, which would be clips from the debates, clips from like live streams, apparently other like things that he's done clips from, if you only watch like the videos tab of the Crucible, you will never see anything that's even remotely like a fumble that Wilson does. He will specifically cut those things out, even if it's like a reference to fumble. Like
the
this
first charge
one
is
here.
aggravated murder because that's what carries
Okay.
a death
So
sentence in the
murder.
state of Utah. No,
Next.
that's not. That is literally not murder.
Okay.
And so
Next.
just for people, no, don't. I don't have to do it in a time limit. There's nothing going on. And just to explain to people
I'm really glad that she's not like playing by this game, because this is very clearly a tactic to make her mess up.
the difference of why that really matters and shows that he doesn't actually care about this at all is because aggravated murder, it's narrowly defined,
Just
and
avoiding
because
the
it carries
question.
a death sentence. I'm not going to answer the question.
Okay,
You're just going to
He's so paranoid.
recognize that your strategy of thinking that people are intimidated when you try to put a time constraint doesn't work, and you'll be better the next time you debate
I got
someone.
it. I got it. Give me the other ones.
The more you cut me off, the longer I'll take. Do you want to just wait for me to finish of why that's a big difference so that
No, I
people
just
don't walk
want you
away?
to list the charges.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. You just don't get to pretend there's a time constraint for me to do that.
Well, how long does it take you to list 7 charges?
Because I'm speaking. You just got to.
It sounds like you're just delaying it because you don't know them.
I know all 7 of them,
Then
and I'm
tell
going to
me
say
them.
again because you're going to get embarrassed. You don't have to rush this. I'm also showing an example of a very flawed debate strategy. I
Okay,
actually
well, I
want
got
a no
one.
time constraint.
I got one.
Great. The second charge is the felony discharge of a weapon. The next 2 charges are for obstruction of justice.
Okay.
The next 2 charges are for witness tampering. And the
What's
final
the specific charges, though?
that, There's them. Obstruction of justice,
Both of
obstruction
those-
of justice, witness tampering.
Okay, and there's no other specifics to them.
Well, I can tell you why he's being charged.
No,
with it.
just the charges and then 7.
He doesn't even. He took that back quickly. I don't think I've commented on this the first time that we saw this, but for a second there, he tries to like do a gotcha on like what's the specifics, and when she's like, "Well, I can tell you exactly why each one," and I think he's like in the moment realizes like, wow, that's gonna look so much worse for me if not only does she name all the charges but also describes exactly why they got like put each one on him, then it's gonna look even worse for him. So I think he's like trying to save himself there by being like, oh no thanks, don't do that. Don't do that, don't tell me why, don't tell me the specifics, I don't need the specifics, just name them, name the charges. I don't think I mentioned that the first time, but that's so like, oh no, please don't. Please don't tell me the specifics. I'm already so embarrassed.
Yeah, see, the bad thing is when you try to be an a-hole and it doesn't work.
What's the 7th?
The last charge is violence in front of a minor.
Okay, got it. So then he's being charged with murder. You just say aggravated murder. That's the distinction. You just want to.
It's a massive. It's like you cannot
Massive.
say murder versus aggravated
Massive
murder.
distinction.
This gets to the entire crux of why him being up for the death sentence. And I actually find the defense's filing about why this is not aggravated to be very compelling of why it's not aggravated murder. Actually, if the state was going to even try to pull this off, they should have charged him with just murder. And then I do also, again, want to stress to audiences that debate strategy of thinking that you have to speak faster or somebody puts your hand up and they try to pretend like it's some sport. I think he thinks it's a blood sport. It's not. It's about being right and being principled when you're engaging. And you can make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, but at least be genuine in pretending that you care about this case enough to know one of the 7 charges that are up against Tyler Robinson when you say the evidence is overwhelming that he's guilty.
Damn, I can't snap, but oh, I can. I can't snap very well. Name of a Pokemon. Go. Pokemon Go. That's cheating. Because it's not a Pokemon, it's a Pokemon game, but sorry, I misread that. The Crucibles are on a diligent mission to make women look stupid, but it was turned around quite stupendously, says Way Philosophy. Kimba, welcome. He has baby hands. That does appear to be true. They do seem quite small. Where is he counting them? Because he does this. Oh yeah, they're just counting.
Wait for me to finish of why that's a big difference so that
No, I
people
just
don't walk
want you
away.
to list the charges.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Oh, they are very small. They did him a favor by not like zooming in from this angle because they are very small hands. Maybe that's why he still likes Trump so much, even after everything that Trump has done to get, well, the real America First people to give up on him, basically, and start speaking up against him. Is he's got this like camaraderie thing about having small hands. Because, Trump famously has small hands. So maybe that's why Wilson won't give up on Trump, because he's like, no, us small-handed people have to stick together. So he's got no choice. He has to still defend Trump no matter what kind of awful things he does, no matter how much he drives our country into the toilet. He still has to defend him because they have this like small hands brotherhood situation going. So sad. Misplaced machismo. Accurate. I'm overwhelmed by Candace's destruction here, says Rick Nell. Thoughts on Wilson claiming Candace was getting fed the charges through her earpiece? Yeah, we're getting there. You're way ahead of schedule, but I was almost gonna be like, oh, should I spoil it? But now since you've spoiled it, which is okay, it's okay. I thought about doing it too, but you know how he does this thing where like, hurry up and tell me. He later does go out and start basically accusing her of cheating, and what he says is like, oh well, this part here where she was like taking her time explaining everything, that was her like waiting for the answer. Like supposedly the reason why she was taking so long to get through all of them is because she was like waiting for somebody to tell her through the earpiece or through her phone or whatever is the conspiracy theory of the day, of however she got those answers, which like those 7 things are not difficult to remember, especially if you're familiar with the case. And they got dropped like days before this. She had days to remember seven items, which 2 of them are like not 2 of them, 4 total, but 2 of the sets of items are the same item. So it's like not even 7 really, it's 5 items, and you have to know like which 2 are twice. it seems like she knew more than that, because I think she would have gone into detail on each one too, and why, you know, each one was different, what he got those for. But for what actually played out over here, she really only had to memorize a list of 5 items. That's not a lot of items to remember. So him like accusing her of this is so ridiculous. Like, it's not hard to remember a list of 5 things. It's not like it was 12 even or 20 or something ridiculous. Like, 5 items are not difficult to remember. He was just embarrassed. Just like he was embarrassed with this Niz thing and lashed out. Every time he gets embarrassed, he starts like lashing out and being paranoid and like accusing people of trying to get him. It's very sad. He said that several times, and I think, yeah, it's been brought up on Twitter. Also, his wife was also trying to accuse her of cheating. This is exactly why the pickle thing went more viral than it probably would have, is because what he did afterwards. Exact same thing is, like, he does something embarrassing. It could be awkward. He could be like, you know, haha, laugh it off. Try to, you know, do one of these. he try to do one of those and lay low for a while, but no, he has to come out and lash out because he's embarrassed and try to do this like paranoid conspiracy theory of somebody feeding her answers, of somebody being like out to get him. It's all very, very sad. But it's one of those things, like, again, if he would have just been like, oh, haha, yeah, I should have studied better for that part, people would have moved on way faster. But because he keeps trying to lash out and flail and be like, oh, she was cheating, it was this, it was that, people are going to hang on to it longer and longer. The more that he shows us how embarrassed he was by it, how much it bothered him, the more people are going to be like, haha, you missed it. That's how the internet works. Small hand clan. Exactly. Oh, I have a little ding for that too. I should do my soundboard. Use my soundboard more, because I have things for that. See, like, wee. That was not the right sound effect. Of like, the one that came out of my mouth was different from the one that I played, because wee sounds like it would be a different one. But what I took from Candace in this debate is to stand up for truth, over prepare, trust yourself, and have humor in adversity. Those are all very good lessons. The cult of small hand sonality. You did spoil it, Ricknell. This is timely. I have such small hands. My nickname is high school was Willow. No way. It was awful, but whatever. I just like Andrew because he's an a-hole. Well, you don't have to be in the small hands club. The only reason that you would be in the small hands club is if you put yourself there and you act like you have small hands. But if you have small hands and it doesn't bother you that you have small hands, and you're not like trying to overcompensate for your small hands, then you don't have to be in the small hands club. It's completely optional. But that is kind of funny. All right. Let us move on to the live streams. I think that was all the stuff I was going to cover in the clipped stuff that's on YouTube. So these ones are, I have to pull up the local ones, because some of the stuff is on the clips that he put up, but some of it isn't. So I think it's just gonna be easier to put up the full one I have locally and click around on the timeline, or the time, whatever. Let me find my thing here. Where is it at? No. This one, yep. Okay, this one, we'll do this one first. 8/16, yeah, so this was 2 days ago. We'll do this one first. We'll do them in chronological order. We'll do this one, and then we'll do the more recent one, the 8/18 one from yesterday. We'll do that one next. Pull this video up. Yeah, we'll have to play it locally. Let me close this, all this YouTube stuff, because it's gonna... There's like 500 tabs open. That's not helpful. 1 second. Let me get situated. I'm gonna close all these. And I'll pull this one up. And we'll do this video here. I need this one. Yeah, I'll do this one. And, oh, I swear that I have it twice. Hopefully that's, oh, that's the wrong one. I don't know why it's up there twice. Oh, no, that looks okay. Behind this one, I guess we could probably make this one a little bigger, just a bit. Just a little bit. Okay, I think that should be okay. Brandon, welcome back. Nice to see you. Who do you think won on the actual substance? Well, because the debate was really about, was Tyler Robinson a patsy, or is there overwhelming evidence that Tyler Robinson is guilty? Because if you basically take out everything else out of the debate, that was the debate, that was irrelevant to that part. I do still have to say, Candace, I don't think it was as strong of a win as she could have done on that topic specifically, because there are a lot of things that it seemed like she wanted to get into. It's just like he kept bringing it back to, you said this about Erica, what does this mean, etc. So it was basically like the second whole half of the time that they had was spent of him basically interrogating her about like random irrelevant things. So I think if there was more time to bring up more specific details, I think that would have been better. I think it would have been better if she didn't consistently mix up DNA and prints and kind of muddle things together like that. I think that would have been better. But I think even with all of that, I think the facts are still on her side. She basically was teaching him about the case part of the time. Like some of those things that we just saw were cut out of her basically explaining details of the case to him, where he basically had no choice but to sit there and listen because he was wrong. That's happened a few times, and there are serious issues. Like when she brought up the tweet and it was like him listing all those items and saying like it's overwhelming, man. I think that was basically, I think I've said this before, but basically the kill shot was right away. He did it to himself when he said, he redefined the word overwhelming to not mean overwhelming. And then PBD was like, how sure are you what percentage? And he said like 75%. Like that's not even close to overwhelming. So I think from the very beginning, he basically lost the debate for himself. Like she didn't even have to say a word for him to lose the debate. He lost it basically immediately. But if we pretend none of that happened and we only focus on sort of the rest of it where they discussed evidence and stuff, I think that even then, even with the few points where she either messed up or could have done better or could have been more specific or detailed or whatever, I think even with those items that we did bring up during the debate reaction, I think she still had the facts on her side. There is just no way that he can go in anywhere and pretend like it's overwhelming that Tyler Robinson is guilty. There's just not something, no matter how good you are debating, it's just not evidence that exists. So it's not possible for him. Like even if he was some kind of like master debater, even if that was true, he still would not be able to prove something that is unprovable, basically. It just doesn't make sense. There's just no way that he could have done that. He lost it for himself right away, and then he kept like trying to be like, oh well, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. Very much like, now to think of it, his fans do as well. Like if his fans debate similarly, it's like they'll get called out for something and they'll be like, oh well, that doesn't matter. Well, what do you mean? Why are you arguing about it? Like they'll argue something and be like, well, this doesn't matter. And then they'll just move on to the next thing. And no matter how many times they'll concede items, they'll still claim they won in the end. It's the exact same tactic that I see him doing, that I see people that idolize him doing, the exact same thing. But of course I am biased because I've seen a lot of content of his that puts him frankly in a negative light, and that's his own doing. I didn't start out existing with a bias against him. I just saw him saying shit that was either wrong or inaccurate or lies or whatever over and over and over again. So I do have to be honest, like I do have a bias because I have seen this whole like history of cringe stuff that he's done. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess. As long as you can open a jar, Willow, you okay? I did tell you guys I opened a jar of pickles the other day, by the way. And see, Cloudy opened a jar of pickled onions. That's way more than Andrew could have done. Let me skip down a little bit. She was, Way Philosophy says she was very wise to have it in her home. By doing so, the Crucible groupies couldn't congregate to shout misogynist vulgarity at her. Yeah, because the whole like, it's a small space. You can only bring so many people, and he still brought like the most like creepiest people imaginable, and try to make it a weird like secret. You don't know who's coming to your house. Power trip like anxiety thing. It's probably just a power play. Oh, by the way, Mark opened a jar of pickles while he was driving. That's very impressive. Stop on us with the jar opening. Brandon said, yeah, pointed out to him even bringing up Erica once was a mistake, but he did it like 5 times. That's interesting, though. I think Candace won rhetorically, but I think Andrew won in substance. Yeah, I definitely agree to disagree. I just don't see, like, he just doesn't have the evidence. Like, he just doesn't have it. There's all the things that he pointed out in his tweet that he then refused to defend properly aren't, like, none of those are good evidence. That is not to say he did well on the substance. Okay, I see your point. Wilson 100% did it to make her look stupid. He's on a mission to perceive a woman as inferior. I could see that. But I'm sure he would be like, oh no, I love women. They're the best. Oh, thank you so much, Cloudy. Cloudy sent a gift membership, and Brandon got the gift membership. That is so nice. Thank you so much. And also thank you for the ones you sent last time too. It is very much appreciated. Thank you. Web of Concept says, one thing I've been thinking about is the fingerprints. Like, aren't there mundane explanations for older prints being more degraded? Which Andrew would have actually argued that, though. Yeah, I guess we'll never know. But it's sort of, it would make sense that the longer somebody, like the longer ago it's been that somebody has touched something, and if there's like other prints on the thing that are not as degraded, that that's what it would mean. Like, it would be, the newer ones would be less degraded and older ones would be more degraded. I think that logically makes sense to me, but if there is some other explanation, it sure would have been good to hear it from the person that was supposed to be defending all the things. And also the whole like degradation and like prints versus DNA, I'm still not super clear on like which part she exactly meant to say when, because she was referencing DNA and then they were talking about prints, and then it kept jumping, and I couldn't really follow like exactly what was it that they're discussing each time, because they kept saying prints, but then they're also saying DNA, and it was just like used interchangeably. So I'd have to go back and look at exactly what happened in the preliminary and separate the two out, because over the past like week, I've basically heard, well, not week, since the debate happened, I've heard them interchangeably so often, especially after the debate when people were reviewing it too. They keep like bringing it up as like taking things from the debate like at their word, and it's mixing it up for me even more. So it's like, wait, which one was which again? So I think maybe I gotta pull it up for next time. But I would need that would have to be like a weekend stream where I can prepare ahead of time more and have time to look at it, where I'm not doing my day job. So that'd probably be like a Saturday or Sunday or something, where we could pull that up and look at that in detail. But yeah, that's a good question. Maybe I could look into that offline and see if that is something that's possible, and if there's a good reason for that, because that is a good question. Honestly, this is a good question. His lack of endowment is likely not solely in the hands, says Way Philosophy. That was very. I didn't even know where that was going at first, so that was very clever. That's great. I see what you mean. Apparently, Brandon also pointed that out. Yeah, but it would have been good if he could have those things handy, because like going into this debate, people are going to point out basically what was pointed out during the preliminary hearing by the defense. Like, this was degraded, this was a mixture, this has like 5 other people on it. Why wasn't this tested for that? Or like, who is these other people on here? So it would have been good, because he did stream the, basically, as far as I know, the whole time during the preliminary hearing, where he was just like had it playing. So I don't know if that was just like to grift or whatever, because it didn't seem like he was paying attention. Because if he was paying attention and actually watching along with the streams the whole time, I think he would have been able to head back at all of these. Oops, didn't issue there. Head back at Candace for any time she brought up any sort of evidence, but he seemed so lost, except for there was like one piece of evidence that he was even aware of that he tried to argue is like that the parents turned him in, and he couldn't even do that one right because she schooled him on it. Literally schooled him on it. It was so embarrassing for him. I was embarrassed for him just watching it, honestly. So yeah, you would think if he was really paying attention during the preliminary hearing that he would be able to address some of these things. Okay. Let us look at this one. So this was the 8/16 Sunday wrap-up stream. And there was the video here that we saw that was a cut from his own like full stream. I think that was the one that we just did, the what really happened one. Where it's the 41 minutes and then, oh no, we didn't. It's this one, okay. Because this is the cut of this one, but okay, so I forgot that we were just gonna skip to, because there is a version of this on YouTube that is trimmed. Watch Candace Owens concede. You know what? Maybe we should play where the cuts are, because I already have it up. Let me just put it up on the screen so you can see it too. Because at first I was like, no, we can just click through the actual full file, but it's hard to tell exactly where the cuts are if we can't see the cuts happen. But I think if I set it up properly, we should be able to switch back through it pretty quickly. That's good. Now let's do this one. Oh no, that's the wrong one. My bad. Let me do this real quick so I can set it up again. I thought I had it, but I guess I was wrong. My tummy is making the rummies. Oh, I had that one. I don't think I trimmed it. Oh no, I trimmed it, but I never put it. I never added that meme button too. Every time I wanted to use my meme button, I haven't done it yet. Because I was gonna do my tummy is making the rumblies llamas thing. I trimmed it, I just haven't set it up yet as a button. Oh, I should have done that. I was gonna do that before stream and then I forgot. That would have been so handy. Because my tummy is making the rumblies, like that llamas and hats thing. That's been so long ago too. Yeah, this should be it. I'm not sure why it's not. Oh, there we go. For some reason, it doesn't like restarting things. Okay, that's better. That is better. Make it a little smaller. And I don't know if fingerprints so was confusing. I didn't even notice the conflation of the prints. Yeah, it was kind of back and forth the whole time. Willie's kindred, small hand spirit. Mr. Tangerine loves women as well. That's why Tangerine would peep on beauty contestants while they were changing. Oh, Tangerine. Okay, I was like Mr. Tangerine, because I always heard him called Orange, but I was like Tangerine. And then as you kept, that started to make more sense. I'm pretty sure all the info in the hearing was about DNA, not prints. I think there was some about prints too. but most of it that where they're like, oh well, this DNA is mixed with this DNA. It was DNA stuff, and then there was some about prints too. But then they were like, oh well, we checked the prints on the window. I think we played that in our overview. Like there were prints at the window at the bottom where the figure jumped off, but they didn't match Tyler, and like it didn't look like the figure touched it. But like there's prints there, but it wasn't his. And yeah, there was stuff about prints in general, but the whole like mixture this and mixture that was the DNA stuff. His lack of knowledge on the actual case definitely hurt him. He relied too much on his typical debate tactics. That's true. He knew nothing about the case or what was covered in the hearing, says Cloudy. Why says he never intended to demonstrate more competence than her. It was for the sole purpose to make her look incompetent. He doesn't want women to vote or work. That is accurate. He has said those things previously, although he keeps, like, sometimes he'll say it when it's comfortable. It's like that Martin Bailey where it's comfortable, he'll say it, but then when he gets called out, he'll tend to retreat to like, oh, well, I don't think anybody should, or I'm fine with women working, just not this or that specific thing. So it depends on like which day you catch him on, whether he'll admit to those things or not. Webb says, I think his strategy was to grant as much as possible to show how it wouldn't justify her position. Didn't feel like a great approach. Yeah, he does that often. He does this like, well, I'll just grant it. And then I like that part where I think we played earlier too, where she's like, well, you should grant it because it's true. Llamas and Hats is sold. That is very old. I'm aging myself. Andrew getting rhetorically mocked by a pregnant woman is poetic. That is true. That was very. I'm glad that it was this like very like intelligent, like attractive. I mean, she's pretty. Come on, and specifically Black pregnant woman. I think it was nice that the way that it just so happened to be her, because I think if it was a man that he lost to, I think he wouldn't throw such a fit about it. I think he would still be very upsetty spaghetti, but I think the fact that it was this like a small little woman that got one up on him is I don't know. It makes it that much better somehow. I can't pinpoint exactly why or how, but for some reason it just makes it better. Also, why would he say he thinks women are stupid if he was trying to grow his audience? Well, that's how he grows his audience, is like he found this niche of men that don't like women and that have money to spend because they don't have women to spend it on or don't particularly want to or whatever, spend it on women. So he's like, I'll take all your money off your hands. And he's got this niche. He doesn't need women because if he brings women in, then he's going to lose all the high-paying men that don't like women. So I think that as far as growing audience, he would like to have more of those men, but there's only so many out there. So as far as like he would like to grow it, but there's only so much he can grow the audience because his audience is in a very specific niche. And that's what happens with like a niche audience is you reach a limit. And at some point you have to basically contend with that there's a limit to how far you have to go before you start branching out, and then you'll lose the niche people. And why would he lose the niche people if they're paying better than like any additional woman probably would pay? So I think it works well for him the way that he's doing it currently with, calling women stupid, etc. Willie loves women when all they do is when they keep the oven cooking and when the oven is cooking. I don't even know if he loves them then, but personal opinion. All right, and this one here, this is, again, see how like the chat is blurred out. So this is from his live stream that we have pulled up on the other screen here. And 11:53 to 13. So this here.
You got to give them their one because that's all they got. I wish you would have held Candace Owens to prove Tyler Robinson was a patsy. You had her on that one. Actually, I'm going to prove to you that I did hold her to that, and that's where she conceded the entirety of the debate. You don't believe me? Watch for yourself. I will show you. Watch Candace Owens concede the entirety of the debate right here.
Exactly what this preliminary was in the inverse.
That's not in dispute. What's in dispute is when you said, I'm using this as evidence that he could have been a patsy. I'm asking, how do you get the inference to patsy from that?
Because what I am saying is that it shows that somebody else had more DNA presence on that than Tyler Robinson did. So it is plausible, which is all they're doing. They're presenting plausibility based off of the facts, okay? It is plausible that somebody just took his gun and put it there.
Plausible that somebody took his and put it there, okay?
See, they even censor out the word, gun here?
That's it.
Is there equally...
That's how it works.
And is there equally 100 other plausible explanations? And is there equally, plausibly, 100 other explanations? What's the answer? So after I ask her this, is there 100 other plausible explanations? What does she say?
I think that's the reason why most people are exploring when things don't make sense.
Got it.
So yes, at the beginning of that, this is how the court process works.
So
just so we're clear,
if there's 100 other plausible explanations, if there's 100 other plausible explanations, then Candace, why is it that we should go with this idea that it was a patsy? Why is it we should go with this idea it was a patsy?
I'm not saying that we should go with the idea that it was a patsy. I am saying,
oh, that was it. That was the end of the debate.
That was it. I'm saying that was it, and then she never even gets to finish her sentence.
I don't even understand what's even controversial there. What is he?
He literally cut her off halfway through a sentence.
Even controversial. That was.
We don't have to cut Andrew Wilson out of context when he conceded the debate himself in the very beginning of the debate, where we just mentioned the whole 75% and the whole defining down overwhelming to a different word than how everybody else understands it. We don't have to take him out of context for that. Like, he apparently has to take her out of context to claim she conceded. This is such cope. This is like the copest cope I've ever seen. No, I mean, this would be the chance to win over people from Candace. Oh, I mean, okay, like as in like if he didn't call all women stupid. Yeah, but then he would lose his own people. And I think he's unlikely to win anybody over from Candace because, I mean, look at him. I do think as far as like any audience, there are probably people in Candace's audience who are not like as discerning, but I think most of them probably are more discerning than most of Wilson's audience. They tend to be like, as far as like Candace's audience, tend to be less trusting of the government, for instance. So they would be less trusting in general of people who support the government and tend to defend whatever's going on with, like, try to avoid questioning, etc. Just fall in line kind of people, authoritarians in general. I think Candace's crowd is probably anti-authoritarian, while Wilson himself basically prides himself to be an authoritarian person who would support authoritarian governments. Like, that's what he argues for. So I think it would be very difficult to try to win anybody over from her existing audience. Even if he didn't call women stupid and all that, I think it would be difficult in general. And he probably realizes that, which is why for him, I think if I were thinking like strictly business only and I was advising Wilson on what to do from like where he's currently at, in order to like purely to make more money, not like to be a good person, not to be honest, not any of that. If I was only advising him like, how do you make more money? Do what you're doing. Keep calling women stupid. Keep doing all this stuff. Only focus on your niche. Don't try to gain followers that are outside your niche, because you're going to dilute the niche, and then the people who are currently paying you a lot of money are going to not want to pay you all that money anymore. So yeah, I think he's making a smart business decision, but not obviously like an honest or honorable one. So yeah, I mean, I guess that was this is it. The debate is over. And then this is where the sentence keeps
Should
going.
go with this idea that it was a patsy.
I'm not saying that we should go with the idea that it was a patsy.
That's it. Debate is over. Debate is over right there. Debate is over. Literally mid-sentence of her speaking. That's it. Done. Debate over. Andrew won. 4K.
saying that there is.
I thought that was the whole defense, your whole claim
no,
today.
my whole claim was that there is more evidence that he is set up as a patsy.
How does that equal evidence of patsy?
I don't know how many times I can say this. Like I'm saying that I am using the exact same mechanism that you are accepting for some reason in the Utah courtroom.
Yeah.
Right. To say, I'm going to look at the evidence.
Apparently none of this was relevant. It just continues to happen. First, it's things on that get posted to the videos tab get very like surgically cut in a way that we've shown. And now he's on his live stream basically stopping it right there and saying, okay, done. I win. Sorry, what? She's literally mid-sentence. Mid-sentence. And he won. This is such cope. He is so slimy, says Way Philosophy. Slimy is correct. I have a correct button. He should be demoted to a mere used car salesman. Hey, I think a used car salesman is a more honorable position than whatever he's doing. So I think he would probably be promoted to a used car salesman if that happened. Does Candace have bigger hands? I think she does. I think her fingers are definitely longer at the very least. Or at least they look longer because of they're like, kind of thin and long. And his are like really like short, stubby kind of looking hands. Namaste. Welcome back. Nice to see you. Always nice to see you. Okay, we get the point. She continues on since we've seen the debate already, I don't think we need to in detail replay everything, but here's the next. Okay, this is the earpiece one. Or at least earpiece part one. There's more earpiece stuff, but this is like one of the earpiece things. And as somebody spoiled again already, there is another part where it gets addressed again that was cut out, and then we'll look at that after this.
Candace,
but this is live currently. This is, the chat. You see the chat is blurred. It's on his channel currently. So this was trimmed from the live stream he did and posted.
Nothing about Robinson saying he will be seen on cameras on campus, but she cares and knows more about the case than you. Well, she had an earpiece in, fellows. I don't know if you know that.
This is such cope. This is such cope. I've never seen him cope so hard before. I mean, he has coped often, a lot, but not this much. Like, this is so much cope.
Or not. She had an earpiece in. So the earpiece was supposed to just give us the prompts. You put the earpiece in, supposed to give you the prompts, but that's why there was all that delay. That's why she delayed for so long. She was waiting for the answer to come in her ear. It's the Oliver clip all over again. Shares one.
Yeah, the earpiece thing. We'll come back to the earpiece thing. Let's just finish. There's one more item in this particular video.
Search of real, tangible evidence. Why? I have a load of never before seen, never before publicly released evidence. Tons of it. No.
And what's this thing where, like, he's covering his eyes recently? He's been doing that a lot recently. I've noticed is, like, making it so the shadow of the hat covers his eyes. It's very weird. What is up with that? Is he trying to hide, like, the sideways thing that's going on with his face, or is he trying to, like, hide something with the eyes? Is it like some substance thing going on? Like, what's going on there? Is, like, are his pupils going to be too big if we notice?
Oh, I'm not going to drip it out. Maybe.
Again, I don't know, but we can't see, so.
Some of it. I kind of thought about some of it.
And it's very specific. Like, he clearly has lighting in the studio. You can tell he has lighting. There's lighting on the rest of him, but not literally right there. Like, that's the only part that's got shadow on it. That looks very, very intentional. the rest of it is very good lighting. Like, the camera is good, the lighting is good on everywhere else, but right there.
Because I have a feeling I know where she's going to go after her bullshit gets refuted with actual evidence. And so I have evidence for that too. None of them. I just couldn't believe it.
Why don't you show the evidence then? Because I know people kept crying about, like, oh, Candace should just drop everything she has. Well, maybe he should be the example. I don't think he has anything. I don't know, but it doesn't look like he does. He looks like he's just trying to talk big, like, oh, I've got stuff too. Like, that's supposed to be a win. Way Philosophy says his is probably stubby from his alcoholism. Can that happen? He's such a creep. Yep. He is very creep-like. Webb says, to me, accusing her of cheating was worse than not knowing the charges. It felt like saving face. Yeah, I think I agree with that. That makes sense to me. That's very, like, that is the biggest kind of cope ever. It's like, oh, well, I lost, but she was cheating. I don't understand how in the same stream he can be like, oh, look, I won, cutting her off like mid-sentence, but then claiming he won. And then if you really thought you won, you wouldn't have to accuse her of cheating. You would sort of move on past it if you thought that overall you still won. It'd be fine. Like, nobody wins everything perfectly. Like, even people that win overall things still get some things wrong. Like, Candace has, I think, overall won the whole debate, but she still got a few things wrong in that discussion that he never caught on to, by the way. So that's not a point in his favor. But she still won the overall thing, and I don't see her walking around crying about how, there was some cheating going on because she didn't get, like, everything perfectly right. No, you complain about things like that and cope by doing things like that if you think that you didn't win. If you think you won, you don't have to do that. You're like, okay, well, I might have not been perfect. I might have missed a few things there, but overall I won, so it's fine. It's whatever. And you just sort of laugh about it and move on. But he's, like, literally flailing. So sad. He hides his eyes because he's drunk and the light hurts his eyes, says Way Philosophy. That's possible. I mean, he is known to drink heavily on stream. I have seen that happen before. So I could, especially now that, like, he's lost and everybody's making fun of him, I could see really wanting to, like, if you rely on alcohol to deal with that sort of stuff, to take it extra heavy. So I think that makes more sense than the large people thing. The glasses look uneven. Oh, like, wait, glasses? Or, like, the shadow, or what do you mean? Like, some covers. Oh, the right eye, a little bit, barely. Just barely. I don't think he means it to show a little bit, but I think if he wore, like, a literal, like, mask over his eyes, it wouldn't really work. Like, if he wore sunglasses on purpose, people would think something is up, so he's trying to do it via shadow here so that people don't notice it, but it's still very noticeable. Not as obvious as if he had worn sunglasses, but
My entire
so
purpose
sad.
for going down there is the best $300,000 I ever spent.
I can't even deal with how much cope there's going on here.
To get her on record and tie her to her positions. And she tied herself to her positions, and she tied them up tight. 0%.
Did we watch the same thing?
0% chance it wasn't Robinson. Yes, Israel and France were involved. Yes, Erica Kirk is complicit. Yes,
Complicit in the cover-up. He keeps, even though he got called out for trimming clips out of context, he keeps still referring to them as if that was full context. We literally played it live and showed that she was talking about complicit in lying about the Ted Robinson thing, about what they had. Not that she was complicit in something like what happened to Charlie originally, whatever that was. She just sit here and lie like that. Honestly, this is so gross. Okay. This is where he's basically like, oh yeah, so I have all this evidence. No, I'm not gonna show it. Might be showing it. Like, he's all over the place with it. He keeps claiming to have this, like, secret evidence for what exactly, but he wouldn't show it during his big debate. He literally paid $300K that he's now coping about to not show whatever evidence he has, so he like drip it out later, but maybe not. If he really had something that was gonna make him win that debate, he would have shown it right then and there. Naz says, where's his evidence for Candace's team passing her info on her earpiece, or is it just his feelings doing the talking? Oh, is the feelings emoji so cute? Yeah, I think, you know what? Well, let's just move on so that we can get to that part faster, because he does. There is a question. I think it maybe looks like the chat asks. If I think I skimmed it earlier over here, but let's get a move on here so we can get to that part faster, because it is covered in a way, but not in any satisfying way. Not in any way that really helps him. But it is brought up again, so we'll get to that here in a minute. Webb says, I'm mainly just mad because I was rooting for Andrew because I hate Candace. Andrew literally got me to reconsider Candace's side. Oh darn, that's rough. That is rough. I'm not a huge fan of Candace either, but I don't hate her or anything. I'm sort of indifferent. There's a lot of stuff I disagree with, but I think on the Kirk thing, I think that she's more correct than she's not. I don't think all of her theories have panned out, but she also admits that. So I'm glad that she doesn't admit to be perfect or, right about everything. And I think it's fine to explore alternate theories if nobody else is. So we're stuck doing it. And she seems to at least have a lot of sources and has delivered evidence to us that the feds even haven't. So I do appreciate those things specifically. Way says alcohol inflates the vessels and the eyes have tons of them. That's why light hurts them. That would make sense. Best 300K I've ever spent, huh? Yeah, huh? I see now. That's just. Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, it's done in a way that it kind of. I see. Oh, I see. It kind of looks like sunglasses because of like the shape of them. But yeah, it's the shadow. I think if he wore sunglasses, that would be way too on the nose. But what he's doing is basically equivalent to suddenly wearing sunglasses. He's only fooling people who want to be fooled at this point. I don't know if it's true, but Candace in her beginning used to dox people. Don't know who she was working for at the time. I have heard that there was something like that, but I don't know exactly the details of it. And I have heard her basically speak out that, I was a leftist. I was doing all this dumb stuff, and then I changed and I did that. So why is Candace not allowed to change her mind and improve herself and be a better person? And he is, and his wife is. Like, Rachel is allowed to go around, having kids with whoever and then marrying him, and now she's a perfect housewife who's totally not a feminist. But Candace isn't allowed to change her mind from when she was, like a teenager to now that she's an adult married with many children. It doesn't make any sense. Like, people often start out leftist when they're younger and transition to being less leftist when they're older. It's a common thing that happens. So I don't know about the doxing thing. But the whole she was on the left, she was a leftist, she was leftist not that long ago. It was quite a long time ago. It was like 10 years ago. So I don't know where it is that he's like, she was a leftist, she was leftist. So were a lot of people that eventually became right-wing. It's like a standard rite of passage for a lot of people. Not everybody. A lot of people stay on the left. A lot of people stay on the right the whole time. But often people go back and forth. That's not unusual. It doesn't mean that somebody's not genuine just because they change their mind. But yeah, hope that helps. But I've looked into the doxing thing at some point too, and it doesn't seem like a doxing thing that the way we think of it. But I forgot exactly what it was about. So I would have to look at that again at some point. But yeah, it's been a while since I looked into it, so I don't want to misspeak about something like that. Okay, so this was the clip from the longer one that we also pulled up, and the whole I win after cutting her off mid-sentence, and then this other cope from I have this information, or I have this evidence. I'm not going to share. Maybe I'll share. Like, he can't make up his mind. And then the whole earpiece. The earpiece part is what we just watched. She had an earpiece in, fellas, waiting for the answer to come in her ear. Like, he didn't include that part, but there's more earpiece stuff here that happens that was not included in this cut on YouTube. Like, this is basically the end of it here. So let me switch back to the other video we have pulled up. And let me see if I can find the right timestamp here. Let me see my timestamps. I think it's somewhere about 2028. Right. Let's start here. Let's see if this is it.
Straight. Yeah. Yeah, that was really funny in the debate.
Oh no, we can see the chat. We can see the chat, you guys. Oh my goodness.
A sexual advocate would eat at Chick-fil-A? Yeah, I do. I do think that. But they haven't been very nice about LGBTQ people. Yeah, okay, great. But their fucking food's delicious. So, like, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think he's too concerned about it, honestly. I have to process this. Candace, who should know what she believes in and have evidence for, needed an earpiece? Holy smokes, that makes it worse than it looks. She insisted we have earpieces, in fact. Insisted. And when I went in...
He keeps feeding this earpiece conspiracy.
The entirety of it, the way that we had prepared for it, was that she said we could have fact checkers there. So I had a tablet, which was set and wired into her studio so the fact checkers could send me the fact checks to my tablet in real time. That was what we wanted to do. When I got there, sat down in the chair, she said, "You're not allowed to have a tablet there. You're not allowed to do that."
He's traumatized by the fact that he couldn't have a tablet. So he's like so traumatized. He's like lighting up a smoke, like back in like he's recalling this like traumatic war he had to fight over the tablet situation. Oh, man, I gotta light one up.
Trust me, bro. We'll pull up your fact checks. They pulled up about 4 out of the 40 or so. I think it was 40 fact checkers that my fact checkers put in. They only pulled up like 4 of them.
I mean, they had an equal number of people back there. So is he seriously claiming this is so much cope. He's seriously claiming that, oh no, the people wanted to send in more stuff, but they didn't play it. You have to also ask for the fact checks. Like, they can't be sending in 40 pieces of random clips, because the stuff that they sent in were like random clips of Candace talking about Erica. If you have a specific thing like, hey, can we pull this up? I don't see that being rejected. Like, everything that was requested to be pulled up was pulled up, and if it wasn't, you should have mentioned like, hey, by the way, we haven't pulled this up yet. Can we pull this up if you had some piece of evidence in mind? But yeah, I mean, if they were literally sitting there trying to send in 40 more clips of Candace saying stuff about Erica, I could see why, like, maybe they wouldn't have played that. So I think we need some details here. 50 smokes a day keeps the doctor away, he says, well. Let's concede that the earpiece situation to be true. So what? Yeah, apparently he's claiming that Candace cheated through the earpiece, even though the earpiece was for all 3 of them, and so that the people in the back that were like producing and stuff, that they could communicate with them. And PBD had one, he had one, like they all had the same thing. And he's literally, it's so funny because all these people that are going around being like, oh no, Candace is such a conspiracy theorist, all these people that are on Candace's side, which I also think is so annoying. It's not Candace's side, it's Candace has some things that we agree with her on, and she's like the bigger creator. So people lump people in that also agree with her on some things as, oh, the people that agree with Candace, versus like, yeah, there's things about this case that are super weird, and the widow is super sus, and TPUSA is being super sus in general. And apparently now that you are either pro Candace or pro Erica, like that's not that's so annoying that how people treat it that way. But it is what it is. Basically, I forgot what I was gonna say. I got annoyed. I annoyed myself, and then I forgot what I was gonna say after that. But the earpiece thing is basically him coping with that. And it's amazing how people that are so like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, oh, is it a conspiracy theory, have the wildest, most like paranoid conspiracy theories themselves. It's like, okay, so you have your pet conspiracy theories and nobody can call you out for being a conspiracy theorist as if it's like a wrong thing to do. Like the people that keep calling other people out for being conspiracy theorists are the biggest conspiracy theorists, but not even in like conspiracies that make sense. They have like these irrational, paranoid conspiracies, and then they're calling Candace a conspiracy theorist when he's sitting there being like, oh no, there's this conspiracy with the earpieces, and there's this conspiracy to do this and conspiracy to do that. Like everybody's conspiring against him. There's this conspiracy for people to not pull up the fact checks that they wanted to do. Like, oh man. He's literally trying to debunk conspiracies and making fun of people being conspirators or conspiracy theorists, correction. But he's literally, in doing that, spreading all of these like unhinged conspiracy theories.
So yeah, that was pretty shitty. If she provides receipts for Robinson eating at the steakhouse, will your point of view change? No. You don't just provide the receipt. Why don't you get this, man? Why don't you people understand this? Do you know how I know that all of that?
I guess since we start, I forgot to pause it earlier. We can play the answer to this, but I meant to skip this part to move on to the earpiece thing that comes up next. But it's only like a minute, and so maybe we'll just play through and watch it.
Bogus. Go ask a person with a merchant account, and they'll all tell you this.
He talks so slow. I have to speed up a little bit.
If you have a merchant account at a restaurant, this is a credit card, you can just call your merchant processor and ask them for the name on the card. I don't know if you know this or not.
Okay.
It would take 5 fucking seconds. 5 seconds. Hey, what's the name on this card? Oh, it's Tyler Robinson. Oh, shit.
Okay.
Oh, shit. He was there. Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. He was there. Whoa, oh my God. Wow, that's crazy.
We don't know whether it was done or not. So he's saying that as if it hasn't been for sure, but we don't really know that. He's really like obsessed with this receipt, but I get that somebody brought up as a super chat, but like the receipt thing seems to be of great import to him.
Whoa. But
I think if you cut out all the dead air from his live streams, there would probably be like a quarter of the length.
They didn't, because it's bullshit.
You know, it's weird. Now that I think about it, Erica talks the same way. This whole like say something, like say a word or two and then pause for dramatic effect. Say another word or two. Speak really slow so people like really are forced to like pay attention to what you're trying to say. I think that's similar with how Erica does it. And I've just realized that it's the same sort of manner of speaking. I wonder if it means anything about, you know, some psychological reason that people speak that way. Because now that I have discovered the similarity, that's two people that are attention hungry and clearly dirty little liars. So I wonder if there's some correlation between people who speak in that manner and, you know, have sort of a affinity for lying or being obsessed with being famous or stuff like that. At least if you put 300K in the bank, you might get a dum-dum. I want a dum-dum. I'm pretty overwhelmed by the evidence that Candace cheated, says Rick now. The three of them could hear the same guy talking through the earpiece. Candace could make the same accusation. Yeah, but she won, so she doesn't need to cope like he is. but what's the positive evidence that Candace cheated? That's a good one too. Have you guys seen that that clip that's going around, that AI clip where he's like, where it's like the blue pill and the red pill? Somebody did that AI clip of like Candace being what's that guy from the Matrix? And then he takes the blue pill and he's like, positive evidence, positive evidence, and just like all the random weird crap that he said. I wish I would have included official timeline in that, because that was another one that he was doing that we saw. It was the positive evidence and official timeline. I wish would have been included, because I haven't seen people include that official timeline in those clips. But that would have been a great one to also do, because he kept saying it like obsessively, like the timeline she put on her show was somehow like the official timeline. Sometimes I wonder if he's legitimately stupid. Like sometimes I wonder. A lot of times it's like he tends to, get a one over on people, but I don't know if that's just because he knows how to do this one thing well, and it's basically talk to people in a way that trips them up. I wonder if that's just a skill that he has, and that everything else that comes with it is sort of fluff. Because like I've done videos on how a lot of these like intelligent sounding things that he says don't actually add up. Like they don't make sense. He's not doing them right. I've done a video on that a while ago. Something about like philosophy fails or something like that. Like he pulls out these random philosophy terms, but then he's not using them correctly. So I wonder if it's something like that, where what if he really is stupid? Like, what if he just pretends to be smart and he's got this confidence thing and people don't really question it and they just assume that he's like this smart person that knows all this stuff, but then whenever he acts like he's confident about something, people don't call his bluff. And the one time that somebody called his bluff, when Candace did, he fell apart. And I wonder if maybe he's just not very smart. Because this whole like official timeline made me think like, do you not understand like people can have a timeline? It doesn't make it like the official, like what do you mean official timeline? Like the feds probably have some like official timeline, but like official timeline isn't even a thing really. People sort of say it sometimes when they mean like the cops have a timeline, for instance, but that's not even, it's just something people say sometimes. It's not even a real thing. Like there's no the way that he got stuck on the whole like official timeline thing, I think it was even funnier than positive evidence, because it was so like, what do you mean? Like, what are you even talking about? He was so like, he thought he had something, and I wonder if like maybe he really is not very smart because of things like that. Like I don't see how he could possibly misunderstand that. That would be schizos with the wacky conspiracies. Yeah, I mean, there's conspiracies, and then there's the conspiracies that you like, and that applies to me too. Like, there's things that I think that are conspiracy theories that are pretty out there, and like, wow, people believe in that. That's so crazy. And then, well, personally, that's probably not very many of them, because for the most part, I tend to keep an open mind even to the crazier ones. But there are a few, like everybody has a few that they're like, oh wow, people believe in that, that's crazy. And then they have their own personal ones that they're like, oh well, but my like pet conspiracy theory that I'm really into is special and different because I like it better. For whatever reason happens to be. Like people, I think most people have some like special like pet conspiracy theories that they keep that are their favorite, and then they sort of, turn their nose up at the other ones. Mark says, is it me, or is that a drawing of an extremely fierce Charlie Kirk behind you? I've heard people say that, and I don't think so. It looks like it's from like an anime or something, or a movie or a comic book, probably a comic book. But now that you've mentioned it, and I've seen people mention it, I think I saw Sneeko mention it too. Like, is that Charlie Kirk behind him? Because the face is kind of like very centered, and it could be like a comic book version of Charlie Kirk, maybe. But I don't know. I think that's mostly because it's the topic, and people tend to try to connect visual things to the topic. But no, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think it is. Willie talked extremely conspiratorially before his turning point involvement. It's sus that he flipped immediately after, says Way Philosophy. That is very sus. He thinks Candace controls time. Who's the screaming face behind Andrew? Yeah, I think it's like some comic book or something. You know what, we can... I know people really hate AI, but it's a good way to find out very quickly. Who is this character? Because I think it's like a character from something. We'll see if it recognizes it. If not, I can ask ChatGPT. Sometimes it's better with visual stuff. Yeah, doesn't seem to. Yeah, it doesn't seem to know. That's all right. Okay, let's resume because there's more to look at, and we shall look at it. Let me get my notes here. Where my notes at? Where my notes at? Oh, I was wrong about the Joe Kent, by the way. I forgot to come back to this. It doesn't look like she ever said that Joe Kent was her source. But that was something that Covette played on Charlie's radio show, that the way that those screenshots got to Candace is via Joe Kent. You were right. I think was that Cloudy? Was it Cloudy that said that it was something that Covette played on Charlie's show? The way that those screenshots got to Candace is via Joe Kent. We kind of verified that the messages had been given by Andrew to Joe Kent, and that Joe Kent had been the one to pass them on to Candace. And then Laura ran with it as well. There was the speculation. And then Colvette said that too, that yes, in the immediate aftermath, I did provide the group chat to Joe Kent. Eventually, Joe did message me and suggest that I make those screen grabs public. I declined. Can I 100% categorically say that he licked them? No. And then, okay, and then Candace said, I can tell you right now that that is completely untrue. Joe Kent did not leak me anything for the purpose of attacking Erica Kirk. So it's interesting that she said for the purpose of attacking Erica Kirk. Not that he didn't leak her anything, period. So she also said, let's say Joe Kent is the one that leaked me crucial information, and then there's some other stuff, but it's a hypothetical. The closest she comes to a source to claim the part that's Andrew's forgetting to add is that he himself told me about the text chain. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like she's categorically denied that it was Joe Kent, but it does seem like she denied that it was for the purpose of attacking Erica Kirk at the very least. So, yeah, I was wrong. She never confirmed it. She at least tried to reject it also. But, yeah, I wanted to make sure I read that before we ended the stream because I was wrong about that. I want to make sure that we know that we have the facts straight. So, I forgot who was saying that. Was it Cloudy? Were you the one that was saying that wasn't true? Whoever that was, I apologize. Maybe is his dad. What knows? Maybe the Punisher would fit his phony facade, says Way Philosophy. That would be pretty phony fitting. Uh-oh, Naz is angry. Wait, what? Did I miss something? All right. No, we don't know who that is. All right. This is... Where are we at? The earpiece thing. And... That's where we are now, 22. Oh, no, it's this one. Yep. 25. Okay, there's more earpiece stuff right here. This is the debate wrap up. And yep, so there's more earpiece stuff in this one, and there's more earpiece stuff in the next one. We just saw she insisted we have earpieces thing, insisted. 40
They
fact
also edited out the
checkers.
parts of the receipts and blurred out the parts of the receipt.
And there was, okay, so we're moving to there's another part. So they come back to it in about like 60 seconds or so. They come back to the earpiece thing again. So we'll just play it through. That's what we're doing. Sorry, I had to orient myself again.
Other people who may have connections to merchants who could look up that information had no information to send to any merchant processor to find out.
Do you want us to spread out his, like spread about his debit or credit card number? That's
Whole thing
weird.
is total bullshit. Whole thing, total bullshit. If she provides that, yes. Look, if it's true that Robinson drove 3 hours away to eat a steak in Orem and then drove 3 hours back, yeah, I think that would give some legitimate credibility perhaps to the conspiracy side of this thing.
There's not even evidence that he ever drove back, like, to the scene of a crime.
But that is not the case. It just things that never happened for $5,000, Alex, or $500, Alex. I just saw a video where
Or for $300,000. He bet the $300,000 and he lost.
someone is saying you cheated during the debate because you have an earpiece.
Here it is again. Yeah, so he was discussing it, and it was, I just saw a video where someone is saying you cheated during the debate because you have an earpiece. The excuses never end. Oh, that is gold. Oh, man. So there is a super chat on screen. No wonder he didn't include this one. The super chat is on screen that is saying that this person saw a video somewhere where somebody else accused Wilson of cheating during the debate because he had an earpiece. Bruh, the excuses never end. Oh man, that is gold. Oh, that is... No way. That is... Oh, do I have to explain how this is like... Holy crap. So here he is, literally like a few minutes ago, going on about how, oh yeah, she had this earpiece in and she insisted we have them, and he literally just did a thing about how she had an earpiece and then she was waiting for the answers to come in her ear, sitting here accusing her of cheating through their earpiece. And I wonder if maybe this was sent earlier, or this person just joined, or like they didn't see the last part or something. And they sent in the super chat basically saying, oh, wow, how crazy is it to accuse somebody of cheating just because they're wearing an earpiece? Haha, you would never do that, right? Not that they literally said that, but like the excuses never end. He literally called it like an excuse. His own person that is super chatting him is basically calling out the exact thing that Wilson is doing, like literally right here. And he's unknowingly calling him out for it because he's calling out the other people for doing the exact thing that Wilson is doing. No way. Oh, no way. The excuses never end. This could not be any better. Like, I think the super chat makes it so much better. If it was just him talking about it, it would already be like, wow, that's cope. But the fact that there's a literal super chat here saying that, wow, how crazy is it to call people out for cheating when all they have is an earpiece? Like, wow, what a crazy excuse. He's literally doing it. Oh, no. Oh, man, that is something. That is, wow. Sorry, this is too funny. White Philosophy says, you are an entertaining Nancy Dreamist, if not good night. Oh, thank you so much. I am glad to be of entertainment. Have a good night as well. Thanks for dropping in. Cloudy says, yeah, I said Kent wasn't the source. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought it was you. TPSA was accusing him of leaking and committing treason. Yep, you're right. You were 100% right. Because it was Colvette that was basically saying like, oh yeah, we gave it to Joe Kent, and you know, I heard that it was given to Candace. No, I can't for sure say it, but yeah, it was basically calling him out on it. Yeah, that seems to track. So you were 100% right. Web of Concept says delicious irony. Rick Nell says, is that the super chat dude watching the stream? That's hilarious. Yep, good night. Was the super chatter maybe intentionally ironic or refused to believe? I don't know. It seems very... I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like they're trying to be intentionally ironic because it's I don't know, for some reason it doesn't read like that.
Their studio gave me the earpiece and demanded I have one in.
Oh no, okay. So he also had the earpiece, and now it wasn't just like, oh well, Candace had the earpiece. Oh no, she was getting something on her earpiece. But no, they demanded I have it. They told me to do it. This is like spinning in circles.
It's true. I had an earpiece in that their studio gave me and said you have to wear this. It's for
Okay.
like cues and shit, and so that you can hear when we're going to commercial break.
Okay, so there is an innocent explanation for this that he literally just said right here when it's pointed at him. when somebody's like, oh well, somebody accused you of cheating for having your piece, and he's like, well yeah, it was for so that we know when we go on commercial break and to talk to the team in the back when they were all sitting together. Like that's why he had 3 of his own people in the back and Candace had 3 of her people in the back so that they could all hear what each other was saying. Like they were communicating all together. It's not like Candace's people could have like secretly said something to her because the other people were in the same room. Like they would have heard that happen.
I can't prove it, but I just feel like this is your $5 fair. Her Wine Mom fans proved your comment on women totally valid. Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. It was almost worse than 300,000 just to have that many women in a single audience and say all women are retarded because it's the funniest fucking meme on planet Earth.
Really? Because I just thought it was kind of cringe. It's one thing to have a funny meme, and it's another thing to basically like not have a good answer for something and cope in the way that you more commonly do is basically widen the subject matter. Whatever the subject is that you were saying something about and you catch flack for it, just widen it a little bit, and it's just a usual move that you do. It's not like a funny meme. It's kind of sad. Let's see, where are we at? This is 24 minutes. So that was the other super chat there when they brought it up again. And then yeah, so it's for cues, and that's so you can hear when we're going to commercial break, he said. So her earpiece is, oh, I'm waiting. No, I'm waiting. She's waiting. Like she would be like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for an answer in my ear because I have this earpiece. And he's like, oh yeah, I have this earpiece and it's just for commercial break and whatever. Okay, sure. So he has this innocent explanation, but he only provides it when somebody points out like, oh yeah, I heard you were cheating through the earpiece. And he was like, oh, well, it's true. I had the earpiece. They made me wear it. They made me wear it. It's only for commercial break and stuff. Like he's immediately trying to wave it off as nothing. But, you know, on her, it's something different. On me, it's totally innocent. And there's one here that, well, I don't know if it's worth even covering that one. Don't need this one. Yeah, okay. That was Sunday. Let's move on to the next one because I think that might be. I think this one has a few more interesting things in it. And again, I'm only focusing on stuff that's related to the trimming, like related to things that are stuff that he covered in the stream or stuff that he covered or that was covered in the debate that was trimmed in a misleading way. That's kind of the focus of this one, but I'm sure there's more stuff in here that we're not covering like the full stream or anything. I'm gonna have to take another look at that later as far as like more cringe stuff that I might pull out of it, which I'm sure there is more of. And then this one was when I was doing the search as far as covering stuff. This next stream that happened more recently, I cast a bit of a wider net in this one. So we'll see how this one... This is the one that's called Responding to Candace Insanity. And yep, so I have that. And there's the earpiece thing again. And are you curious about the earpiece? Okay, let's do that one because there's more earpiece stuff in this one. Let's cover that first. 2554. It's right about here somewhere. It's coming up. Oh yeah, Streamlabs says like the stream. Oh, good night, Cloudy. It is getting a little bit late. We'll probably finish up these few clips. There's probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, a few more. There's quite a few more, but we'll finish up. Thanks for dropping in, and thanks for the gifted memberships, by the way. Web of Concepts. Sorry, that's quite a mouthful. A bit unrelated, but what do you think is the best evidence against the traditional narrative about what happened? As far as like Tyler Robinson did it, what's the best evidence against that? I kind of mentioned a little bit of it earlier, but it's basically like the videos that they're providing us, it looks like they are intentionally blurred and skewed. There clearly is a more clear version that they're not sharing, because the more clear version, for instance, the guy that Candace showed on the show, that was the same video, and they're basically like purposely obfuscating it because it doesn't look anything like him. The story doesn't make sense. That's as far as like direct evidence that they have shown in the trial goes. And then just sticking more to the trial, which is kind of around the trial was this whole conversation, sticking more like into the trial stuff. It was the video stuff that I just mentioned, and then how they like skewed it too and made it all how the how the body camera of that officer that went up on the roof apparently died all of a sudden, and there's no more footage, even though it was like 20 minutes into when they first started recording it. Super sketchy. How they have like this super cut of him in different clothing and walking differently, and it just looks like different people even in the blurred versions. And again, the blurring thing, and then the case itself, I think the first thing that people called out is Professor Hoodoo says the neck wound isn't right. The whole like, oh, the 30-06 wouldn't do that. That's probably the first thing that I've heard going around for people that know things about guns. They're like, there's no way. It should be 0.38. Pay for emergency, yeah, and the pay for emergency too. The whole like, oh yeah, we gotta pave this over, and it's an emergency. Like, what's a pay for emergency? Even the person that came out that he was hired to do the paving, he didn't even know what a pay for emergency was until then. Yeah, there's a lot of things that have to do with like the gun that they're claiming it was done with. People who know things about guns are like, that's not possible. It wouldn't look like that. Plus the whole like, oh, he took one shot from this far distance, then he did this Spider-Man thing. Like, if you basically put the whole narrative together and tell it as a story, it sounds like fiction. None of the things seem realistic. And even in the interview during when his supposed lover, which I have questions about that, was interviewed, he didn't even recognize him. Oh, there's a fluff in here again. There's always a fluff. And then said that they didn't even talk about Charlie Kirk. I think if you like obsessively want to go and take someone down like that, you would at least be talking about him sometimes in really serious negative way, where you like have just so much feelings that are negative that you want to lash out and tell everybody you know about how much you hate him. Like, people don't just like live sort of average quiet lives and all of a sudden go and off somebody specific like that. I mean, I'm sure it's happened at some point. But usually when it's somebody's quiet and they snap, it's like they go take out a bunch of people that are kind of random. But to go and specifically target somebody like this, and not even talking politics, like he never even talks much politics. It doesn't make sense. None of it fits. And then all the extra Tylers running around that day, that are clearly the ones on camera, not the actual Tyler. The car narrative is completely weird. Like, there was a bald man that was in the car and 3 passengers. Hang on, I thought it was just Tyler driving his car, but now there's a bald man driving with 3 passengers that the witness saw. That was supposed to be his car. Like, sorry, what? And then how they claim to have found the car, which wasn't by tracking the plate or anything. It was the closest they got to tracking a plate is they had a partial plate that matched later. Not like, oh, they had a plate and they tracked it down. No, the other way around. They found the guy and then they made things match. And that goes for a lot of evidence, is they found the guy and they tried to make the rest of the evidence fit. Not like, you know, they track this and this and they're like, oh yeah, that must be him. It's like, no, he turned himself in and then they, you know, put everything else together. So it's not particularly like any one thing, but I think even a handful of these things, take even like one or two of these things that are the most out there for you personally, and that already throws the whole case away. But to have literally like almost every piece of evidence be so questionable and sketchy, there's just no way that he did this. If he had done this, if he literally went up there and shot him with that rifle from that position, they would have had something more concrete. They wouldn't have to do all of this juggling of this or that and cutting this and that, stretching, blurring. Like, they wouldn't have to do any of this. They wouldn't have to be so sketchy about it. They wouldn't have to hide things. They would just give everything they had to the defense and, you know, have a trial like normal people do. But no, I guess they couldn't do that. And all that together is basically overwhelming. There's an overwhelming amount of non-evidence. So that really points to, like, if they had something on him, we would have seen it. And if they don't have anything on him, well, they should, because that area was covered in cameras. We have this flock thing going on now. Not a single flock camera caught him. We supposedly have these things everywhere, and the only photos we have are could be anybody, and the few that sort of look more like him are where he's doing something completely innocent. Not even close to anything that could be something not innocent. So it's pick one. pick your favorite one. Take your pick. All right. Where are we at here? Okay, the earpiece thing. It's right up here somewhere.
Can happen. These people are just fucking insane. They're just lunatics. Crazy fucking people, man. Someone should take all the times Candace Owens said that Charlie Kirk was murdered and supercut it with her saying no, it was aggravated murder. That would be pretty funny. Amazing they claim they don't trust the mainstream media while
Hilarious.
at the same time Candace and her orbiters are acting just like them. Characters, so yeah, 100% character assassination. Are you curious about the earpiece in Candace's ear coupled with the amount of time it took her to answer the
Here's the earpiece thing.
charge question? I think that she was delaying, yes.
I remember how early I was like, we're going to come back to this, but when she was taking her time answering, how like, oh, you know, you don't have to rush me, and really dragging it out so it's more painful. Now he's got now they have a whole another theory for this. It's not that she was dragging it out to make it more painful for him. It was that she was waiting for the answer secretly. Like, they were going to give her the answer and she was just waiting for it. Honestly, the amount of cope that is happening here, I was not prepared for this much cope. Night Cloudy. Rick Nell says, I'm overwhelmed by everything Def Nut is saying right now. See, that's how overwhelmed is done properly. Overwhelming done right. That's what we do over here. We overwhelm.
100%. Because she just wouldn't answer it. Hail, Smoky Man, I was cutting out the floor of a trash truck the day of your debate.
100%, by the way. Let's skip around a little bit. There's a few funny bits here. I don't want to watch the whole freaking live, especially with how slowly he talks. I sped it up a little bit, so that helps a little, but still, it's getting kind of late. 2909.
Do you know the 7 charges? No, I know 5, though. Okay. What's this bullshit they're
Okay.
saying that your crew startled them and their security, and security had to yell, name yourselves, or some shit?
What is to be relevant? 44. There's one here that also has to do with the charges thing. Another piece of cope. 12. Oh, look, right on the dot again.
Well, the debate was whether or not I thought Robinson murdered Kirk. Well, it was actually shot Kirk. That was the actual prompt. What he's charged with would be irrelevant.
think it's irrelevant. I mean, she explained how aggravated murder versus murder is very different, and that has to do with the case. So I wouldn't say it's irrelevant. I would say that it's possible that most people may not care about the other charges, but to cope like this is super cringe. If he didn't think it was that big of a deal that he didn't know it, he wouldn't have surgically cut it out of the other clips that he put on his channel. Webb says, I think body cams may be the most suspicious. Like, do body cams malfunction that often? Also, he didn't claim that it malfunctioned. The officer that was questioned about it, he claimed that, oh, I don't know, it must have died. Like battery ran out. He claimed that the battery must have ran out, which was very clearly a lie, in my opinion. And no, they don't, apparently. Like, they're meant to stay on for the entire shift and more. They're meant to be reliable. And he didn't even like claim malfunction. He claimed like, oh, it died, like it ran out of juice, and that there wasn't anything particularly wrong with it. Like, it just didn't have enough charge, which does not make sense. Also, Tyler making that shot felt weird. Yeah, it's like a guy that is apparently not that good of a shot is suddenly takes like one single shot from that far away. And I mean, again, for somebody that is used to shooting guns and like people that are actual good shots, for them it might not be that big of a deal, but to run up there, to basically quickly get down for a second, to chill there for a bit, and then take one shot and then ninja off the building, like, or sorry, people are calling it Spider-Man off the building. It's just not realistic, especially for somebody that isn't that great with shooting, like with how he apparently didn't even handle that gun, not even guns in general, but like even that specific gun that much. I don't know. Apparently he was a bad shot, and apparently that gun was mostly like a thing that was passed down to him, not something he really like went shooting with all the time.
Most horrifying realization is people who believe Canada votes. What? Dave Smith having her on in 10 minutes. Disappointed. How backwards is it winning a debate? Well, it could just be revenge of the Dave. He might be trying to get even with me for stomping the holy shit out of him in the debate I had with him. Love how she just kept saying, I'm not answering that. You'll have to watch my show. Yeah. I'm not answering that. Brian and Candace frequently say others aren't serious people. Coincidence? I feel not. For all you do, N1SB, appreciate that. Hey, Mystery, how do I put up the... Oh, there it is. There's the donut bar. The moment she conceded that she didn't have evidence, the debate was over. Well done, sir. Yep. I'll be honest, no matter what happens, she's rich. She'll always have her fans, and she's set for life. It is maddening and difficult to reconcile with because she already has hers. Listen, man.
There's somewhere here where he says what he's charged with would be irrelevant, and I just don't feel like searching for that right now because it's just one little phrase there that was kind of extra cope. Let's move on to 138.
You say to those of us 80% in the middle, the same thing I said in the debate.
Oh, we should read the super chat here.
She uses those claims. I've watched Candace one time for every 200 times I've watched you, and I'm still not as confident that Tyler acted alone as you are. I know you didn't like him much, but I really loved Charlie and want the truth.
Oh. I wonder if maybe that had something to do with why they blurred out the chat, because more so than usual, there are people in his chat that are basically calling him out.
What do you say to those of us 80% in the middle?
He just read it fully, but I've watched Candace one time for every 200 times I've watched you. I'm still not as confident that Tyler acted alone as you are. I know you didn't like him much, but I really love Charlie and want the truth. What do you say to those of us 80% in the quote-unquote middle? That's a good question. And I think that there are probably a lot of those people that are in the chat that are wherever this person is. I think there are a lot more people than we think that are wherever this is at.
Same thing I said in the debate, Tim. If it was just a matter of you, first of all, the position, I've never had the position that Robinson acted alone.
Sorry, what? That's what you're defending. Like the case for, like, if you believe what the prosecution is laying out, if you believe that case, that's what they're asserting. That's part of the case. So he's admitting that there's a whole giant part of the case that the prosecution is laying out that he already doesn't believe. So what else are they lying about? If they're wrong about this, lying or wrong. I shouldn't use that interchangeably. It bothers me when people do that, but I'm being kind of on the nose here. Like if they're wrong even about that, or worse, if they're lying about that, what else are they wrong or lying about? If here it is admitting to one thing at least that the prosecution is getting wrong or lying about.
Ever. I just think it's most likely that if he had help, it came from the left-wingers who probably assisted radicalizing him in that Discord. I said that during the debate as well.
Yeah, he was so radicalized by the left that he was not even that political, and he went to Chick-fil-A, and he was like a regular Utah country boy for the most part, except he might have been also gay. It doesn't seem like he was much of a leftist in general.
Never been my position that he acted alone. Ever. Wouldn't surprise me if you find out that there was people in the Discord who helped him or things like, but they were likely leftists. I reject the idea that the federal government with Israel and TPUSA assisted in killing Charlie Kirk. That's insanity.
Okay, that's not necessarily what was claimed specifically, but okay, whatever. But so he does he does even here have this alternate conspiracy theory to what the official narrative is. The official narrative from the government is, and the prosecution, that Tyler acted alone. So he has his own special pet conspiracy theory, as I was saying, even about something that goes against the prosecution already. So why is it this? Why are they wrong about this specific thing, but right about everything else? Also, you know how there's all these memes about like, oh, where's the positive evidence? Where's the positive evidence? Well, where's his positive evidence for there being a leftist conspiracy about this? I don't think he's going to provide one. Just 1:12:05. In about 10 minutes here. There's a little funny bit. Right here. So we'll play it out here.
Problem, but okay, fine. You're not going to travel. It has to be done at your house. It's like, then don't fucking bitch and complain. There's going to be a bunch of strangers at my house. You fucking insisted we do it at your house. Andrew, huge fan here. Did you see Dave Smith's reaction? He's also live with Candace right now. In my opinion, you won the debate, but I wish the negotiation was better. God bless you and your family. Well, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you.
This is our personal home. Like, we are going to, have a studio outside of this in the near future. But for now, this is what we have. Over the course of this conversation with this faceless individual, the person immediately begins getting rude with my producer and insisting.
I wonder if that was Mr. E, because he's the rude one. Although I wouldn't be surprised if there's multiple rude ones. Webb says, guys, go sleep. Thanks for stream. Oh, thank you so much. Hope to see you again sometime. You're always welcome back.
Again, this is on Thursday. This is the night before. That they're going to need.
It is getting pretty late. We'll probably cover a few more here and call it a night.
The desk.
I think I've made my point of how things have been conveniently stripped out for the things that go as videos on his channel and like surgically cut out for whenever she makes a good point about anything.
They're going to need a place to set up Andrew's
It reads super cope.
live stream. Excuse me.
Oh my God. That unreasonable son of a bitch. They're going to need a desk and a place to set up for the live stream. That unreasonable fucker. Hey, Mr. E, fuck you, man. You unreasonable prick.
That was mystery. Okay, I called it.
Unreal. You asked for a desk and a place to set up your live stream? What
She just said it's a small space.
the hell is wrong with this guy? What a nutcase.
Didn't he just stream it anyway? What does he need all that stuff for? You can just stream it directly. That's what he does with the whatever podcast and other things. Like, he will take the stream and just push it to his channel too. It's not, you don't need a whole setup for that.
Her biggest dig so far is that you didn't know all the fucking charges offhand. That's all I've seen. That's because there's nothing else. The strangers in my personal home is the new I'm mad at the 2 minutes rule.
They're saying they're now
There's so much cope here.
going to need an HDMI cable that's going to run out of our studio into the control room so they can set up a computer into a camera and live stream.
Oh my God. How could they? Those sons of bitches. They want a place where they can set up and an HDMI cable? My God.
The night before.
How could they? How could these unreasonable sons of bitches
After you've already agreed about everything publicly, and he wanted the public only negotiation, and then they kept asking for things literally up to the night before. Honestly, like, from everything that she said, that's unprofessional. He's not even arguing here. He's like admitting that this happened. So I think like after you already agreed on everything, if you're trying to add things last minute, that's not appropriate. It's probably way more than HDMI cable to get it working. Yeah, usually those things have some setup. There's stuff running through, like it's a small space and you wanted a whole desk and everything. Like she said, you can have 3 people. That's a lot of people already, plus the ones that are in her control room already. Like his people were in the control room. What more do you need?
asked for this insane amount of accommodation? BBD also didn't ensure she didn't have a person hidden in her house transmitting to her earpiece separately, because that's what happened.
More earpiece. The people that are like, it's like he starts some sort of cope with their earpiece thing, and people that are supporters start like parroting the earpiece thing and sort of stretching it out, making it go further and further. And it's like a collective circle jerk of cope. It's so sad. There's 123. This earpiece thing just keeps coming up over and over and over. Let's see if this was also...
Actually can't understand a bunch of just fucking mouth diarrhea nonsense. I can't understand that. That is in
I think this is a super chat that came in. That was very funny.
fact the case. Where's your positive evidence that Candace was being fed answers through an earpiece? Don't have
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Hang on. He disappeared very fast off the screen, but...
mouth diarrhea nonsense. I can't understand that. That is in fact the case. Where's your positive evidence that Candace was being fed answers through an earpiece?
I saw the beginning of that username. I was like, no way. That's perfect. This greased pickle jar. He pushed that one off the screen fast. Where's your positive evidence that Candace was being fed answers through her earpiece is the question. That's a great question. It's a little sad that they paid money for him to answer that, but it was a good question. I think it might have been worth it.
Piece. Don't have any. And I didn't.
Oh, so you don't have any?
Didn't
Okay.
make the claim that she was.
That's interesting. Yes, you did. We literally heard you do it.
For sure.
Oh, for sure. So every time you make a claim, you have to say for sure, or else it doesn't count. Okay, we'll keep that in mind for next time. So now he's backtracking again. It's a pattern. It's like he'll say stuff and then he'll backtrack. He'll say stuff and backtrack. Say stuff, backtrack. As soon as he has to defend it or he gets called out for anything, just backtrack. Works every time. Yeah, I mean, we've already played this. She had an earpiece in, fella. She was getting fed answers. We've played that already, so I don't think we need to replay that again here since it's getting late. We'll try to wrap it up a little sooner here. There's a butterscone thing that was kind of weird. I don't know if it's... Might as well cover it for a second. Okay, so there's this whole bit where this creep Gerald was filming in the garage where her kid's playroom is, and he's trying to defend that here, even though she asked not to film anywhere outside this particular studio in her house, and didn't even know that this guy was coming, even though he's with Crowder, who apparently has some beef with her for whatever reason. Crowder is like so sad now. He used to be relevant, and now he's just like trying to grab any little bit of attention he can by trying to like interject himself into this situation here. It's very sad. This whole, like, all these people are very sad. I don't know. It's like how much cope there is around this. Just be like, oh yeah, I should have prepared better. I lost. It's no big deal. I'll do better next time. But no, I mean, he can't do that. He spent $300,000. I keep forgetting. He literally spent $300,000 to get dog walked by a little pregnant lady. He can't admit it. He can't just do one of these. He can't do one of those. He already spent $300,000. Oh, I have one for that, but it doesn't go on the whole screen. It just goes on me. see. Money. I have things. I gotta use things more because they're kind of funny. All right, Duff, let's... All right, Duff, not be honest. Are you being fed answers through an earpiece right now? No, I'm literally reading them. I am literally reading where the timestamps are right now. I'm being fed the timestamps on the screen. I'm reading them. Oh my god. Oh no. Let's see here. Let's do this one because it's a little weird. 141. Oh, so close. 141. 41.5. Sorry here.
Oh, and I brought exactly that amount of people. Where's...
But you didn't even bother identifying any of them or ahead of time.
the sneakery? Where's the sneaking
The not identifying
part of this? How did you...
If you're going into somebody's home, you should at least tell them like who you're bringing so that security can be aware and stuff, especially somebody that was really good friends with somebody that literally just got assassinated less than a year ago. I think it's common courtesy.
not understand that?
But I think common courtesy and respect and manners is not something that he's aware of. He hasn't seen any positive evidence for those things being important, so... Nor an official timeline for when those kinds of things should be used.
What I'm saying is, in the near future, she's going to claim that she has cars outside and imply you leaked her address in a desperate attempt to discredit you. Well, perhaps.
At least she's moving soon, so...
There's nothing I can do about that, is there?
It still boggles the mind. Why would you try to sneak into someone's house?
Well, nobody snuck in anywhere. You opened the door wide open and then offered the guy a fucking buttered biscuit. Like, what are you talking about? The fuck is she talking about? How sneaky was Gerald if Gerald walks in and she offers him like a fucking buttered scone that she got from the local market?
Oh no, so she was kind to people? It's still sneaky to surprise her with who was coming, especially if they have beef. What was she supposed to, like, when she saw who it was, supposed to, like, take it back? You're like, well, I was gonna give this to you, but no, and just, like, shove it in her own face. Like, she's a polite person. She's not gonna be like, never mind. Oh, it's you. Never mind. Just, like, throw it out. Like, I don't understand why this is, like, a gotcha.
Here, have some of these baked goods and welcome. Gerald shakes his hand. How is that sneaking? That's the opposite of sneaking.
If she had rejected one of his people at the door, he would have an excuse to quit and run away. And don't worry, we would hear about that too. Well, she didn't let one of my fact checkers in, so I couldn't do the debate. Or he would have done the debate and then been like, well, I lost the debate because one of my primary fact checkers wasn't there to fact check. She didn't really have a choice. Like, you didn't give her a choice, really.
That's coming in. You're announcing yourself.
Not any real choice, anyway. I don't know if he, like, really doesn't understand or if this is just more cope. I don't know. It could be either. He could just not be versed in basic etiquette. That is also possible, considering everything else we know. This one's funny.
With her on everything.
This one.
So what? Underwhelming debate. Candace just reeled back on everything and just said no evidence of my theories. Just feels. Exactly. Can you explain what this whole foot shaking shit is? And how is that even a dunk on you?
What do you, can you explain? Have you not seen it? Oh, like, not one step back, Prince Arthur, bro. I keep saying I want to do a video on that. I just haven't had time yet on that whole not one step back thing being a commie thing and other commie stuff. Yeah, I got to do that. Because every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I got to do a video on that. And then I just haven't gotten around to it because of everything else going on.
Yeah, well, okay, let me explain it to you. Ready? There's lots and lots and lots and lots and tons and oodles and boodles of men who, when they sit and they have one of their legs over their knee, they shake their foot.
He's trying to make it seem normal and okay.
There's millions of us. Sound.
Are you gonna get together with all the foot shaking men and take over the world and try to force doctrine your way through to ban Candace from talking about how cope this is? Oh my god.
Off in chat if you're a foot shaker when you have your leg. When you have your leg balanced on
Oh no.
the other leg, put a 1 in the chat if you shake the foot.
Oh
I know
my
that there's
God.
other foot shakers in this fucking chat right there.
If you've ever done that, I think it's one thing. If you literally sit there the entire time, just like, that's another thing. These are different things. He's trying to basically conflate himself with everybody who has ever done that ever, versus like what he has done, which is quite extreme.
This second. I know it for sure.
Put a 1 in the chat if you shake the foot. That's so sad. That's so sad. He's like, save me, chat. Save me, chat, please. Save me. I'm so embarrassed. Save me.
Let's just stop all that. The midterms are lost now. They all did. All of them. I see Alex Jones. He's gunning for me constantly now, too. All these people are gunning for me because they...
Oh, I'm so scared. The people that are all gunning for me. Pay me money. Give me money. You must give me money because people are coming after me and I'm this victim and people are coming after me. Oh, okay. So there was also some stuff. I didn't really bring this up during the debate because I'm not as familiar with firearms, but people have called him out. People that are familiar with firearms have called him out on some stuff that he said about firearms that was ridiculous, apparently. I don't know much about firearms, so I'll take their word for it, but there's a short coverage of it here, and that's like, there's like one item here. Yeah, there's like one more. I don't know if that's even. Yeah, there's like a weird Watson quote. Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be the last one. This frangible round thing that he's got going on. 201. And I think we'll call it a night after this one. And also my tummy is making their own bleeds, so I gotta eat anyway. It's right around here.
Roughneck Jar, have you explained what a frangible round is yet? I thought it was a practice round that shatters into dust. Yeah, I misspoke there. Okay, so he he keeps saying, oh, well, the only thing I messed up is I didn't know the charges, and that doesn't matter anyway, boohoo, even though he keeps coping about it and surgically trimming from his quips, but apparently it doesn't matter, and he didn't mess anything else up, but here he misspoke. Okay. Right? What I was trying to explain to her was that there's distinctions in ammunition. There's a distinction between a frangible round. There's a distinction between a soft point round. There's distinctions between these different types of ammo. Which, granted, I'm not an ammunition expert. That's true.
I'm not an ammunition expert, even though he claimed to be like a gunsmith or something, and then he claimed to know guns. Like she did a whole thing questioning him about what his experience level with firearms is. So sure, you may not be specifically an ammunition expert, but you seem to be at least claiming or admitting to being a gun expert. So I thought that was kind of funny too. But we'll let this one play out a little bit, but that's pretty much it. We'll call it a night.
But in comparison to most of these fucking people, they seem like they don't know what they are talking about at all. So that's it. That's their whole dunk, right? It's like, he said frangible. So what?
I don't think that was it. Again, I'll leave this to the people that know more about firearms, but there is more stuff that he got wrong. And also he claimed that, it was this thing, but it's really that. Like, we don't know exactly. So, all right, I'll leave the gun stuff to the gun people, but just know that there was some cope here also, and it was kind of funny. But I'll leave the gun people to cover the gun stuff, because that is certainly not my area of expertise, and that is somewhere where I just don't think I'm the best person for it. I think there's people that are better. You're going to eat commie snack? Maybe. I only have a few of those. I gotta be careful because I only have a few of those, and it's not even really the thing about those. It's not even a snack. It's meant to. It's technically medicine, so you're not really supposed to eat a lot of them. You gotta be careful. It's technically medicine. It's like it's like vitamins to get your iron levels up. but it tastes really good. So I just used to eat it when I was little, but I can't help it. But you can't be like eating them all the time because you're gonna get too much iron in your blood or whatever. So I gotta be careful. But yeah, it's a very tasty way to get your iron levels up, but you can't be constantly snacking on them. But I only have like a couple left too because I have to special order them because they don't sell them here in the store. Gas mask, hello. Goodbye, because we're wrapping up. You came at the wrong time. Or at the right time, I guess, right before we wrap up here. Medicine, yeah. It makes it even more commie. Yeah, it's like a tasty, fun way to get kids to get more iron levels in their blood. I think it's like made with cow blood or something too, like beef blood or something. Like it's literally like there's literal blood in it, like in the recipe. But it tastes like a chocolate brownie mix. Like it doesn't taste anything weird at all. It literally tastes like candy. It's amazing. All right. I think that's pretty much it. I guess we didn't get a chance to test out the dono bar yet, but maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll get a chance to test it out a little bit more. I do want to add maybe I gotta figure out how to add. What we could do is like for gifted memberships, I could try to figure out how to add like the equivalent of those onto the dono bar, but I don't know if that's something that we'll figure out a way to indicate it somehow. But I don't know if it exactly can translate because I don't know if we get that information from the API when it happens, like exactly which thing it was. She called me trash. She has such a fun username. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks to everybody for hanging out in the chat, and for anybody that's watching this after the fact. I also appreciate all of you too. Whether you're here live or not, it's very nice that some people enjoy the show, and I'm really grateful for that. So, oh, I didn't even get to test out the Be Right Back screen. I did build that. Something that I haven't done yet is I haven't put it like as a beginning for the trailer. That's something I was wanting to do, is put some of those as a trailer for like to upload to YouTube before the live starts. So I haven't done that yet, but look, I'll just show it to you real quick and see how it works. Right. Oh, look at him. He's gonna do it. I just believe that might makes. Watch he's gonna do it.
Force doctrine is a prescription. Isn't a prescription. But it makes.
Oh, there he goes. He said it. I thought he was gonna say it earlier. There, I turned it down a little bit. That was a little loud. I'll have to level the volume on it down a little bit probably because that was kind of loud in my ears. Hopefully that didn't hurt anybody's ears if you're wearing headphones. I apologize for that. But yeah, I did a thing for that. Finally, right, I kept talking about getting something for the Be Right Back screen, and I didn't even use the Be Right Back screen the first time that I actually have it ready. But anyway, all right. It was fun. I at least know that the Discord link thing is working now, and that saves me so much time. So I'm so glad that works. And yeah, I've gotten more things organized. There's a few more things that I need to do, but I'm definitely making progress. So it's been going well. So thanks everybody. I'm connecting my card. It says send that. Oh, are you gonna? That would be so nice. Thank you. I would appreciate any donos, and if there are any that are in between streams, then I would bring it up on the next stream. And if there's issues or something, we can always do it next time too. So I do appreciate you attempting. Have a good one as well. That is fun. I gotta fix the live. I think the volume. I think the volume was a little too much. I do appreciate you trying though. Maybe if there are different options. There's the Send Me a Coffee one, there's the Streamlabs one, and then there's the Super Chats ones. But there's always next time too. If you wanted to come back next time and drop some, that would be also super cool, and I'd be super grateful. But we're gonna call it a night. I still want my wee wee montage. I don't think I've said wee wee that many times. I think there's the wee wee montage would probably be like 3 clips long. And it might be kind of hard to find though, because I don't know if it would get transcribed properly. So for something like that, I don't know. I think that it might be difficult to locate in all the transcripts, which is how I tend to find clips, is looking through transcripts. All right, it is very late. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and I shall see you next time, sometime soon. Thank you.